on AFL Live. St Kilda versus Adelaide, live from Moorabbin.
Good afternoon and welcome to Moorabbin. A great day for football. It's the Crows up against the Saints. One of 4 matches being played in Melbourne today. It's a tremendous round. We've got Hawthorn up against West Coast at Princes Park. Carlton and Essendon doing battle out at VFL Park, and Melbourne and Brisbane at the MCG. We'll keep you up to date with all those games throughout the day with scores, and for Adelaide viewers, they'll see a replay at 4:30 of the game between Hawthorn and West Coast. Well, the Saints and Adelaide have both done pretty well this year. They've got a match ratio of 50% respectively, and they're both just out of the 6. For St Kilda, they started the year pretty well. They beat Richmond, they beat Melbourne, they've lost to Carlton, Geelong, and had that fantastic draw at Moorabbin with Collingwood. Adelaide thrashed Hawthorn first up, won in Sydney, also beat Footscray at their last start and lost to Essendon, Carlton and West Coast. Lockett and Winmar both back for the Saints today, and a crowd around about 20,000. Don Scott, welcome to Moorabbin. What about Tony Lockett and Nicky Winmar? A big plus for St Kilda?
Well, I suppose on paper, Bruce, yes, they are pluses. But then again, in actual fact, are they fit enough? Now, Lockett, as we know, does carry a bit of weight. Now, whether he's got rid of that, Winmar is not that type of player. But usually, and there's a theory in football, players play well first up. It's the second and third games that they don't play so well. So it'll be an interesting matchup today. It'll be a good game.
Okay, let's have a look at the lineups, and we start with the St Kilda back line.
Yes, and really they line up as they do on paper, but whether they actually go like that when they line up on the ground is another thing. But Frawley and Hodges, that'll be an interesting battle. Frawley very negative. Klug at centre-half forward, a real surprise packet against Morris, who really has been doing very, very well this year since transferring. We see Ralph Smith there, another former teammate. There's Winmar, plays up on half forward, so I think that's just a Furphy on the wing. Felke has been a very good player for Adelaide, as has Marshall. Tregenza. Stop those 3 and McGuinness and you're in business. Pekin, discipline against Abernathy. I think Pekin will go maybe a half back. Bartlett, yes, he's beaten last week by Coleman, but Lindsay I'm impressed with. Been a little bit down, but McAdam, a South Australian, he'll be anxious to impress against his former teammates. In the forward line, as you see there, Lockett flanked by both Harvey and Rice. Now, Harvey has been going up around the centre of the ground. Lee, I'm really impressed with, a former Hawthorn reserves player. Danny Hughes, well, he has had his covers lowered in the past to Lockett. And Maynard, I like the way this fellow, if they play him on the back line, is prepared to run down the ground. Vidovic coming in for his second game. He was a former North Melbourne player and he's playing his second game here at St Kilda. Newport, who's been playing half back, he could be tagging. Craven, well, he's only played a few games. We expect a lot from him. Micken, improved player, and Jarman did really well after being taken off the ground last week in the first quarter. Quickly, I need to change. Cummings, good to see this young bloke get a go because he's a reserves best and fairest. He's been here about 4 years, broke his leg, it just hasn't got the opportunity. Kitchke, a former Sturt player, promises a lot but just hasn't delivered against Hart, who had a purple patch earlier in the season, and Murphy, who was a Glenelg player and also a former North Melbourne player, did well last week.
Thanks for that, Don. Peter McKenna will be co-commentating with us today. And a big welcome to Max Stevens, who's flown over with the Adelaide Crows this morning. Max will be keeping us right up to date on the ground and in the rooms. And Max has got this Mitsubishi Motors ground report. Welcome, Max.
Thanks very much, Bruce. Ideal conditions for football here at Moorabbin today. Our current temperature is 17.9 degrees and today's top will be 20 degrees. The ground condition, as I said before, excellent. The wind a slight northerly of about 3 to 5 kilometres at times. The forecast, fine, mild with light winds and no goal advantage whatsoever.
Max sounds almost perfect for what should be an excellent match. We'll be back with the start of the game after this break.
Hello, I'm Andrew Jarman from the Adelaide Crows and you're watching AFL on 7.
most outstanding exhibition of pre-game chatter I've ever heard. Unbelievable stuff.
Rocky. Volume. Yep.
Oh, hello.
It was hard, Rocky, because I had my head against the wall. It's
Rocky, there are a lot of people in Adelaide would have liked to have seen my head on. How are you? How are you, mate? I'm very well, thank you. I'm at Footscray tomorrow. Where are you tomorrow?
At Sydney. Now, who's on interchangeover? We've got Newport and Kitschke.
He's in Sydney, mate.
Sydney.
Can we get a camera on the Adelaide? Geez, we've missed the Adelaide bench.
Well, soon pick that up.
Now, what are they going to do with McGuinness here?
Will they tag him? That is the big question. Danny Hughes going on interchange, is he?
Is it Hughes and Bartlett?
I thought I saw Bartlett come off, believe it or not.
No, Bartlett's out there, 14.
Bartlett will play on Lockett. No, number 7.
Nigel Smart.
He'll run off him.
He's not big enough, though, is he?
No, he'll run off him.
Pekin in the middle. Well, there's the champ, Tony Lockett, who's kicked 530 goals and 6 times has been the leading goal kicker here at St Kilda, playing his first match since that Foster's Cup game against West Coast. Welcome to Peter McKenna. It should be a great game, Peter.
It will be a great game. And that's an interesting matchup. Nigel Smart, who probably not big enough for Tony Lockett, but then again, and good thinking by Graham Corns, Don, because he might be able to run off him.
Well, I'm impressed with this guy. Every time I've seen Nigel Smart, I like the way he moves. And I think it's a good matchup because he'll run off and put a lot of pressure on Tony Lockett. Interesting, Danny Hughes is on the interchange. And for St Kilda, we see Newport and Kitschke.
So Newport not used as a tagger. We thought he might have been.
Be interesting to see what they do with McGuinness, because he usually cuts them up down here against St Kilda. McGuinness, even when he was at Footscray.
Who are you tipping, Peter?
I think the Saints will win by 3 or 4 goals, Bruce.
And Don?
Yes, I'm going for St Kilda because this is a difficult ground to play down here, and it's a very, very parochial crowd.
Mind you, conditions are absolutely perfect for football, so that gives the Crows a chance. It's a lot harder down here when that wind starts blowing. We just saw a shot of Robert Elphinston, former great St Kilda halfback, a moment ago.
Good crowd in, and considering the Crows won't have a lot of support, it's terrific to see.
Yes, it'd be 18,000, I'd say, 18 to 20.
So we're set to go. St Kilda kicking to the right. They've got 2 of their champions back, and the Crows to the left. Tregenza got a touch. Harvey, who's been a big star this year, goes towards full forward Lockett. What a dream start. Couldn't have asked for more than that, Don.
And you can listen to that crowd. I think the crowd tells the story, doesn't it? It was well done by Harvey. He pinched the ball off McGuinness, deliver it so well, and it was a good lead from Lockett.
Well, will he complete a fairy tale minute in football here by kicking a goal after being out for so long? For weeks and weeks, the Saints have said he'll be back in a fortnight, but that fortnight's gone on and on and on. And can he drill this home from 45 metres? Lockett, familiar pose, drop punt, leans back on it, kicks it straight through the middle. The big boy's back in town.
Well, it's a Hollywood start here at Moorabbin. Tony Lockett involved. There was a great mark. He is very, very good. Very strong hands. Look at this pass by Harvey. There. Well done, Lockett, taking it out in front of his face.
Back to the centre. Lays a bit of it. Doing the ruck work against Micken. Oh, crashing his way through with Muller. Too easy. To the half-forward line. Taken away by Bartlett. Bartlett to centre wing. Klug sets himself in front. Can't take the mark. Should have taken that one. Daniels drops the ball. Shuffled out by Pekin. There's Andrew Jarman to McGuinness. McGuinness in great form last week against his old club, Footscray. Kicks to the half-forward line. This is Cummings kicking it wide. And getting back to that goal by Tony Lockett. Tremendous play by Robert Harvey, because I think it was most important that they get his confidence up very, very early, and I'm sure Harvey would have been thinking of that. Vidovic against Klug. Klug gets it to ground. Jarman, McGuinness, Filkey. Filkey to the half-forward line, should be a mark, and it is, taken by Muller.
His name in the back pocket, playing at centre half-back is Winmar, who hasn't played since August last year. To Lowe, the champion of the club last season. Bartlett, Lowe on top, wants a free kick. High tackle, no holding the ball.
Very, very slow, wasn't he, Bartlett, on that occasion? You can see there Lowe playing for it and finally got the free kick.
Lockett the target. Rice, quick kick by Lee to the centre. Front spot Ralph Smith. Jamison against him. Jarman, Craven with some pace. One bulk. McAdam in front of Lindsay.
He's moving around a little bit, McAdam. He's lining up over here on centre wing. Now he's deep into that forward line. Lindsay's got the job on him.
McGarry medalist from 1989. Neil Curley, the football manager, would know Gilbert McAdam very well. He coached the Bulldogs in Adelaide when McAdam won the medal. And the drop punt is a good kick, and he's just hit the post. So it's 1-1 the Saints, and the Crows yet to score.
It was really interesting the way he kicked the ball then, Peter. The head right over the ball as he made contact. Classical.
Short kick by Scott Lee has found Maynard. Back it comes to Lee. Lee, oh, he took a chance, but he gets away with it to the half-back line. Micken is the flyer. And Mark Micken, formerly of the Brisbane Bears, takes the kick to half-forward. Players set themselves. It's punched on. That was Coughlin. Further afield to Ralph Smith. Then on to Harvey. Harvey wide. Stewart low. 20 metres. Oh, he's fumbled again against Bartlett. Bartlett didn't grab it this time. He's tripped over though. That allows Lowe. Again Lowe's fumbled. Not in good form. And that could be holding it again. No, it's not. Bartlett. The centre wing. McDermott has taken a good strong mark. They need a big game from Chris McDermott. Bruce Lindsay to half forward. Over the back. A chance for the Crows. Out comes Hodges. They'll certainly appreciate his presence back in the side. Umpire calls play on as Craven comes away from half-back, kicks it wide, and he's found a man. Will he take it? No, he doesn't. Play on the umpire calls. It's Frank Coughlin. Coughlin coming through centre to half-forward. He's found his man, and this is Russell Morris.
In the centre square, Lockett wide. There's the target. Rice in the front spot. Free kick Lockett. Play on call. Rice to kick another one. Bang, through. 2 goals, 1 St Kilda. Adelaide yet to score.
Well, as we saw there, it was a 2-on-1 situation. Lockett being outnumbered. And here it is, the build-up. Now watch as Morris gets it and delivers it on quickly. It's a high ball. Lockett will be on the lead. There you can see the hand over the shoulder. Scott Lee in front, Smart behind. Comes to ground. And Rice finishes off.
Great start to the Saints. Again, it's Vidovic versus Micken. Micken taps it down. They badly need to get it out of the centre. Here's Pekin. Now it's Russell Morris. They're getting it far too easily out of the centre. Craven to half forward. Dean Rice in front of Scott Lee, and he's Mark Rice. Where's Lockett? They're not giving him a lot of room right now. Now the lead is on. Lockett comes from the side. Stewart low. Oh, too big, too strong, too good.
Well, haven't they got a potent forward line when you've got Morris who's moving so well, also Lowe has finally taken a mark. He hasn't handled the ball too cleanly. And you've also got Lockett up there. Throw in Winmar if he gets up around that line, and also McAdam. It is a very potent line.
Well, they've got a Russell Jeffrey played in the seconds and was outstanding, so it won't be long before he's in the side. They're almost getting to full strength, the Saints. Lowe from directly in front, kicks a goal. It's another one. 3 goals, 1 St Kilda. The Adelaide Crows yet to score.
What Adelaide will have to do is look at the centre line, because they're not winning the ball across the centre at all. Craven's doing particularly well. He's manning up on McGuinness, playing him man-to-man. Now Hart's gone in as roving.
Well, it's interesting, Don. McGuinness 19-0. Interesting that McGuinness and Jarman haven't really had an effective touch yet in the centre square, and they've been the playmakers. There was Jarman, McDermott, now Abernethy with a high one to half forward. Murphy and Grant against him. Ralph Smith. Got a bit slow there. Tregenza got hold of him. I wasn't at Windy Hill when Essendon played the Crows, but I know both you were, Peter and Don, and it was a similar start. They were just a bit overwhelmed early and then hung on after that.
Yes, that's quite true, Bruce. And they lacked. They didn't have Hodges that day. They fell down badly up forward. That was Vidovic hooking it out to Craven. A good little player, Craven. It was grabbed high, I would feel.
He's figured prominently, hasn't he, Craven, early in this game?
He was taken off last week and Jimmy Cracker brought on. I thought it was a wrong decision at the time. They were trying to get team balance going, but that's McDermott giving it across to Jarman. Jarman to Hodges, led well, trapped it well. Frawley is in for a tough day on Frawley, though. Frawley hooks it out. There's a quick hand pass. Muller tries to crash his way through the pack. Now it's McGuinness. He's brought to ground. Still umpire calling play on. Muller to Nathan Burke. Out wide is Marshall, leading in the race against Winmar. They love Winmar here. The crowd roars. Taken away by Burke. A very talented player. Half forward is Russell Morris. And over the back, a good mark to Maynard, who's very strong overhead, Don.
He's a good player. I like this fellow.
Short to Lindsay in the centre square. Winmar late. Low and Lockett both prominent early. Lindsay to half forward. Grant in the front spot against Murphy.
Bradley directed that kick.
Kicked 6 goals against Footscray. Murphy. Here's McAdam. Gee, Peter, McAdam and Winmar, if they can start to combine together, won't that be exciting this year?
I saw McAdam last week in a losing side. He was brilliant. The ball at half forward. Pekin. A shocking kick. Straight to Micken. And it was intended for Lockett. On to Bartlett. Bartlett, he's in for a tough day too, playing on Stuart Lowe to centre wing, a one-on-one contest. Tregenza couldn't take it. Klug shuffles it out. This is Marshall. Abernethy. Half forward is Murphy. Used his body beautifully on that occasion. On it goes to Filkey, running round in circles. Now the short one is wide. Now Klug or Hodges should get here now. Oh, bad miss by John Klug. An easy mark. Kicked away by Nathan Burke. You cannot afford to do that, particularly down here at Moorabbin. They don't give you many chances. That was Frawley receiving from Harvey. Nathan Burke to half forward and Russell Morris. The ball hits the deck. Oh, Winmar. Well done, Winmar. Loses it in the tackle. Now Morris ridden into the ground. Umpire called play on. It'll be a bounce.
Positive start by the Saints. Adelaide struggling across half forward. Bad mistake, as Peter said a moment ago, by Klug. Low to do the ruck work against Micken. Got a bit of a height to St Kilda. Winmar. Quick kick, Lockett. And Smart. Smart read that well. Very talented young player to Lindsay. At half back. Centre wing. Klug in the front spot. Muller over the back. And touched out of bounds. So a throw in right in front of our commentary position. Big crowd here at Moorabbin has built up in the last half hour, and the Saints away to a flying start.
Ball on centre wing. The St Kilda players wearing black armbands in memory of former champion halfback Eric Guy, one of the toughest players to ever play the game, as the umpires found a free kick. You remember Eric Guy, Don?
Yes, I do actually.
The late Eric Guy was a genuinely tough player. Danny Craven to half forward, and the mark has been taken by Micken, who seems to be a better player with the Crows than he was with the Brisbane Bears. Micken to centre wing. Marshall at the back. Read it well. Plays on. Hart to Klug. Now Klug should have a bounce. He goes for a hand pass instead. Filkey. Where's Hodges? Hodges leads to the pocket. A disgraceful kick. A shocker. Straight along the ground. Oh, Hodges. Is that a free kick? No, the umpire calls play on as the quick kick. No, it's a free kick for over the neck on Tony McGuinness. And this kick will be taken about 20 metres from goal on a very, very acute angle.
Well, the man standing the mark there, young Steve Cummings, he's been down here a long time. He broke his leg a couple of years ago. He's really worked hard to get himself back in a reserves best and fairest. And he's actually been through 4 drafts.
Tony
picked up.
Tony McGuinness getting round, opening up the goals and kicks. Oh, not a bad looking drop punt. Is it across the face or just in? It's just missed. But tried to open up the goals. Obviously can't kick the check side, Bruce.
And no right foot either.
Made famous in Adelaide by Jack Odie. And Sturt low at the back. Filkey probably got first grab. Winmar, who's had a prominent start. McAdam and Lindsay, missed by Marshall. Harvey, good hands there. Was through his legs. Well-directed kick to Morris in the front spot. Free kick. Will come back. Had a good look there, Harvey. Gave Morris a chance.
Morris was outstanding last week on Steve Kernahan in a losing side. He played a great game at centre-half back.
He's an improved player, isn't he? Couldn't get a game at Hawthorn.
Got a lot to prove.
So Morris to the goal square, and the obvious target is Lockett. A couple against him, Rice and Lee. Lee to the safety, the boundary line. And St Kilda deep into attack, and this Adelaide defence under tremendous pressure in the early part of the game. There's Scott Lee, who played so well last week against Footscray.
Yes, a good honest goer, Scott Lee. Ball in that back pocket there. Andrew Jarman was grabbed by the jumper, and the umpire found it. A free kick holding the man, the short one. And they're trying to run off Tony Lockett.
Good play. That's good play. I hope Smart continues that.
That is good play. Nigel Smart. That's obviously the reasoning behind putting him there and not Danny Hughes. There's Jason Daniels with a quick hand pass. Robert Harvey, a very talented player, on to Pekin. Now Nathan Burke from 55 metres. The short one. There's a bad kick. And is that 50 metres? No. The mark is taken by Lee. Micken. Filkey. Filkey to centre wing, or the height here certainly favoured Vidovic. Played on to Pekin. Pekin, or a hand pass to a man who was covered. 35 is Jamison. Jamison trying to shuffle it out to Marshall. On to Jarman, who punched it away, then was held. Very clever play that by Andrew Jarman, and a free kick.
Did very well last week after being taken off in the first quarter, Jarman.
Drop punt to centre half forward. Murphy in the front spot. Maynard caught. She's covering a bit of ground. Maynard, he was in the back pocket a moment ago.
Well, if we go back to the first game the Crows played against Hawthorn, he kicked 2 or 3 goals running off that half back line on Paul Deere. It was a terrific effort.
Vidovic and Klug to do the ruck work. Crows need a goal here. They've steadied after being shell-shocked early. Hart has forced his way back in. Pekin round the corner. Micken takes a chance. Morris on the up to Winmar. He should kick it to McAdam, and he does. He's got low inside if he sees him. Goes the direct way to Lockett. It's a great kick. And both Smart and Lee able to do the sandwich job on the big fellow.
And that's a chance where Lockett could have possibly led to that ball, because his man was free.
I was interested in the way the ball got down there. McAdam's getting away from Lindsay.
Oh, good player, McAdam. He was another great player for St Kilda last week in the losing side. They had about 4 really top players that kept him in it. Look at Lowe, the big arms. Oh, the ball hit him in the head. Marshall to Filkey. 2 of their key players. Filkey inside. Great play, Grant Filkey. Now they need someone to do something decisive here. Over the back. Here's a chance for Hart. Hart trying to give it back to Hodges and Tregenza. Tregenza a hurry kick to the half forward line. It's thumped the ground. The Saints through Frawley to Cummings. This is Robert Harvey. Oh, brilliant play. Daniels, the short one. Morris. And they've got too many loose men at the moment, the Saints.
Morris from the centre square. Winmar in the hands of the trainer, and Lowe hitting the head with the ball like he was last week at Princes Park. Lockett again, 3 players against him, and 2 Saints down. Coghlan. Lee did well to cut him off. Coghlan tried to tap it back to Lockett and missed him. Oh, quick hands. Was that a throw by Abernethy? It was very quick. Jarman now the target from Lindsay. Daniels. Oh, play Jarman. Absolutely brilliant. Beat 2 of them there. Tregenza went to water. Panicked when he shouldn't have. Took his eye off it and then wanted to thump it away. Missed by Lindsay. McAdam, Craven, good back turn, clever roving, caught in the end. Allowed to play on to Coghlan from 50 metres. Coghlan to Lockett. And you can't beat him when they kick it like that to him.
Just impossible. Just impossible. Smart behind. And Lockett is just too big. Now watch this. Well done, Craven. Coghlan. He is just too big, Lockett, and Smart just didn't have the run. They've got to drop the ruckman. They've been doing that well, dropping another ruckman down there on Lockett. Smart might need a handout.
Must have been a fine line between whether that was holding the ball on Danny Craven too, Bruce.
Very close, and in the end it was almost around the legs, but this is Lockett's bread and butter, isn't it? To be in front and holding out somebody like Smart.
Oh, too strong, too big.
For his second goal and the Saints' fourth. No mistake. Lockett's got two, St Kilda away. They're 4-2 and the Crows are a point.
Well, Tony Lockett wearing that number 4. It's a famous number down here, worn by Darryl Baldock when he was captain in the early 60s. Then Barry Breen took the number over. He played over 300 games, Barry Breen. Now Tony Lockett has it.
To a solitary point to the Crows. The Saints doing it well here. They go forward again. It was Daniels to McAdam, and now under Winmar. Lockett again. Oh, he nearly took it, pushing the back. And that was good play by Smart. He got in front on that occasion.
Adelaide have made a change. They've got Lindsay now on Coughlin, and Abernathy's come across onto McAdam.
This is Maynard. A couple of bounces. Can go over the top of the hand pass here. He does to Bartlett. Bartlett long to the half-forward line. They're not moving around much. Grant on Murphy. Here's a chance. Hart, Tregenza. Now a one-on-one contest. Hodges, front position. Punched down by Frawley. He's very, very strong, Danny Frawley. Taps it wide. Good defensive play. This is Jamison. Oh, handball straight to Harvey. Back it comes to Frawley. Frawley heads around the boundary line. Very, very good defensive play.
Interested in Frawley and Hodges when they went for that ball. I thought that Frawley was hanging on to Hodges, not going for the ball but holding him down.
He's playing his 150th today, Frawley, the captain. Klug and Vidovic. Hart, who's had a couple of good touches with the hands. Kicked a lot of goals in one of the Foster's Cup matches early on. Just maybe a lack of pace the reason he's been struggling.
Been around a long time.
Yeah. Central Districts and North Adelaide. Best footy at North Adelaide. Klug just pushes Vidovic in the back. No free kick. Burke to centre wing. Maynard, Micken at the back. Winmar read it well. This is what they love to see with pace. Kick it to Lockett. Look at this. Well, the two heroes.
Oh, this isn't he, Meg. I mean, if a footballer's beautiful, the way that Winmar moves, it is just fantastic.
Both of them, Don, too. A great lead by Lockett. He wouldn't have the match fitness, but I reckon they've got an extra 5,000 people here today because of those two coming back.
Jarman has come off for Adelaide. And coming on is Mark Pickley, the rover.
Be interesting to see if Jarman's injured or just taken off. It'd be surprising if he's not injured. Now Lockett from 45 metres. Can he kick his third? It's already been a fairy tale start for him. Leans back, drop, punt, misses. Just hooked it. Probably trying to get a bit more distance there. And they're up to 4-3, the Saints, and the Crows are a point. Did Jarman look all right to you, Don?
It seemed to be. He walked around there without any assistance. One of the officials got up to speak to him, but it wasn't a doctor, so
just looking at him
wait for Max Stevens.
Well, just looking on the bench, he seemed to be grimacing a fair bit. There's Abernathy coming to the half-forward line, and Klug. Now, will it sit for him? Klug tries to tap it back into play, but it beat him over the line, and the camera shot of Jarman showed him grimacing, so maybe there was an injury there, because I think he's been one of their better players with that slick handball. Vidovic, formerly of North Melbourne, trying to resurrect his career. He's really hung into this AFL football. The ball on centre wing. The players pushing and shoving. McGuinness is pinged for holding the ball. And it's a free kick there going to Kitschke, the centre wing. And the mark has been taken by Morris. Morris to Lowe. Lowe's got two to beat. It's thumped the ground. Oh, players slipping over there. Bartlett to Lee. Further afield it goes to Tregenza. Tregenza to the half-forward line. The ball hits the deck. Oh, they're falling down badly at half-forward. Number 22 is Murphy. Oh, shocking play. Straight to Nathan Burke. On to Pekin. Pekin to the half-forward line. McAdam waits for it. Now sits on top of it. Umpire doesn't penalise him. A little bit lucky.
Max, what's the situation with Andrew Jarman?
Situation with Andrew Jarman, it would appear that he's been dragged at this point of time. Doctors aren't talking to him and he's just sitting on the bench with his head between his knees.
Mickens tap, Pekin, Winmar. Again, Lockett the target. Well, it's a pleasure to watch at the moment, unless you're back in Adelaide and barracking your heart out for the Crows.
He's just too big for Smart. They've got to get down.
Well, not really. Yeah, but I watched it on that occasion. He was indecisive, Lockett, as to what he was doing. He didn't know what Winmar was going to do. He wanted it long. He got behind, he led left, right, and then just got in front at the critical time. Everything's going just too well for St Kilda at the moment. They can't do anything wrong, and the Crows have got to improve.
Oh, you'd have to get Denny Hughes there quick, Smart. At least he has played on him before and has got strength.
Lockett's also kicked a few goals on
know,
Hughes.
I realise that.
Well, he's about to kick his third here. Straight through for another one. Well, Lockett's got 3. And it's 5-3 to a point, and Don Scott, if you were a Hollywood producer, you wouldn't have written a script like this. This has been perfect.
Well, I was thinking exactly the same thing, Bruce. You know, this stuff's made in Hollywood, isn't it? But then again, St Kilda can do no wrong, and it's a little bit of a worry when you do it so easily as what St Kilda are going, because the opposition are going to improve. They only just have to start winning the ball, and they'll be back in the game.
Magnificent start by the St Kilda champion. 5-3 plays a point, and Lockett is slotted back into that lineup as if he's been playing all year. Now here's a free kick going the way of Chris McDermott. And gee, they've been falling down at half forward.
Playing too short, Peter. Every time they get the ball forward, they go short.
Well, here's their chance now. Hodges at the back. Went for it one-handed. Couldn't do anything about it. Ball at half forward. Robert Harvey dispossessed. Sean Ralph Smith, former Hawthorn player, kicks long to the half-forward line. Maynard waits for the bounce. Oh, this is danger because Coughlin's got it. An open goal, short pass, and Nigel Smart couldn't do a thing about that one. That is brilliant football by the Saints. Great lead by Lockett, and determination plus.
Well, that's your fact. Coughlin might have been able to kick this. They are very much Lockett conscious. It was only a 20-metre pass. It was a good pass.
Well, he is a champion. How do you stop him? Tony Lockett from 30 metres, directly in front. Plenty of time over this kick. There it is. Another one on the board for the Saints. 4 to Lockett. 6 goals, 3. St Kilda. The Adelaide Crows remain on 1 solitary point.
Well, I simply think you can sum it up as being unbelievable. You'd have to be here to watch it. There, Maynard making a mistake. A lot of those little mistakes are happening, and the St Kilda players capitalising, and Coughlin capitalised on that fumble.
$39-1. A remarkable start at Moorabbin. Craven to Daniels. It's smothered off the boot by Bickley. Klug tries to break a tackle. Hart tries to get a kick away. Again smothered. Pekin. Winmar drops it. Should have gone. Gets it back to Pekin. Lockett on another lead. Not this time. Front spot. No free kick paid to lead. Rice. Good play by Tregenza to get in Winmar's throw. Strong bump there. Tregenza again to Marshall, who'll chip it over towards Bickley. And this should sit for him. And he should attack here.
Oh.
Well, you wouldn't read about that one, would you, to Muller?
Gusting kick.
And Muller now to McAdam, and the Saints are in again.
Oh, some of the field kicking of the Crows at the moment is abysmal. Now here's Dean Rice, dropped the mark, but they're still in the van through Coughlin. Lockett! Oh, he couldn't grab that one. Low. Maynard. Lockett again. He'll be feeling the pinch, Tony Lockett, in the moment. He lies on the ball, Tony Lockett, and he's been pinged for holding the ball. And a correct decision as McDermott kicks wide to Marshall, and Marshall can run away.
To half forward, Klug and Jamison are there.
Good mark.
Used his body well. Hodges, poor kick again. Frawley's going to come at the back. Almost a spectacular mark. Burt goes to ground. Good handball though to Grant. Now Daniels, there's a paddock in front of him. Runs his 8 or 10 metres and kicks it towards Lockett and also Rice. Lee, Bartlett, snared by Morris. Lindsay misses it. Maynard to Lee. to Smart, to Maynard. Now can the Crows get something to work? Klug on the lead. Muller interferes with him. No free kick. Pekin and also Hart. And again a ball up.
Just talking about Tony Lockett, he's the focal point. You go down the other end there, he's looking for petrol tickets. His hands are on his knees, he's bent over. So obviously he's not too fit.
I'll tell you what though, he's 6'4" and about 16 stone. He just has to put his big backside in the goal scorer. It'll be hard to beat. He's holding the ball. Free kick to Harvey. The short one is on. The Crows are not manning up because here's Winmar loose. He'll kick it long. No, he dodges. Now he'll kick it long and high. This could be a goal. Yes, it is another one to the Saints. Nicky Winmar has kicked his first. St Kilda steaming ahead. 7-3, 45 to Adelaide Crows, one behind.
Well, it was only a few minutes ago, St Kilda were about 26 points in front. They'd controlled the quarter, but in the last few minutes they've really rammed the goals on. 3 in fact, and it's now made their lead very respectable.
Micken, quick kick by Pekin. That's Winmar's 150th goal in league footy in 81 games since coming from South Fremantle in 87. It's a pretty good average. Morris, or good finger tipper. Gee, it's one-way traffic, isn't it? Morris towards Rice on a lead. In the front spot
well
lead.
Done. That was good play then.
Micken. Somebody's got to stop the gate, and the floodgates have got to be closed for Adelaide. Jamison. Lee, followed up, quick kick. He wants Klug to take a mark here. Hart tries to snare it on the ground. Vidovic off the ground. Harvey, good hip and shoulder on him by Murphy. Another strong tackle on Craven. Burt, free kick in the back.
And Bickley's hurt too after laying that tackle.
And there's a blue on behind play.
It was interesting, Hart, when he had to go for that ball earlier in the season, would have gone. Just stood back and allowed the St Kilda player in.
So high drama at Moorabbin with the siren sounding. And the Saints by 44 points. In a quarter of footy, they're going to remember here for a long time. 7-3 to a point. Hey, listen. Oh, there, Gutless. Tentative. Hey, have they got anyone who goes in and gets the ball? He weak as water. They're not having a go. Look at that centre bounce here, man. How's the Hawks going? I've got money on vested interest here. C. Hawthorn. Oh, it's not up. I'm disappointed. This is going to be a boring game.
Klug's the only one that's done well.
Oh, their field kicking is disgraceful.
Listen, his name is Muller, not Muller.
Muller.
Call him Muller.
Oh, it's Muller.
It's Muller.
It's Muller. That's what we said.
You call him Muller.
Oh, excuse me, I've called him Muller every time he's ever played the game. Someone else calls him Muller. Who is it?
Scotty's been funny, has he? I think he's called quite well. For Scotty.
Thanks for that cup of coffee.
Yes, mate. I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening.
Essendon.
Okay. Thanks, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Thanks, mate. Hey, Tom, could you and Peter swap?
Yeah.
Can you come here?
Yeah, it'd be better.
Because then we can touch.
Oh, Hawthorn 3.
So Watson, it could have been a knee problem, mate? Okay, mate. Thanks, mate.
3-3 to 3-7.
Good game.
He's not being used over.
So Rocky, summary from the boys, and then those scores, or those scores first. Right. Scores first, then the boys, and then Maxi. Okay, mate.
You work at 7. I thought you would turn around.
Haven't you?
Free.
Have you met Neil before?
Oh.
Don, haven't you met Neil?
Yeah, no. I just met him today.
Have you met him, Brew?
No worries, mate.
It's a shocking haircut Bruce has got, isn't it, Pete? It's like he hasn't done it properly. Or he's licked out his mum's cake bowl. You know how you used to, as a kid, lick out the cake bowl and your hair would go, or stick? What type of look do you call it, Bruce?
Mate,
the under 25 look?
Quarter by quarter, then the progress scores. Yep. No worries. Quarter time at Moorabbin, the Saints by 44 points, 7-3-45 to Adelaide a point. Lockett's kicked 4 goals and Winmar has starred. So Kenny Sheldon would be pretty happy with that start, and so would 18 of the 20,000 people at Moorabbin today. For Adelaide, just what they didn't want. Other games in Melbourne today, what a match it'll be at Princes Park. The Hawks trail by 4 points there, 3-3 to 3-7. That one's close to quarter time. Essendon lead Carlton by a goal, 2-2 to 1-2, but the news from there is not good for the Bombers. Tim Watson was carried off in the first quarter, we believe, with a knee injury. So that would be an absolute disaster for Kevin Sheedy's men. And the D's by just 3 points at the MCG against Brisbane, 2-7 to 2-4. Well, Don and Peter, it's been a one-way traffic in the first quarter. Tremendous start by St Kilda, and it's going to be very hard for Adelaide to even get back into the game.
Yes, and just looking at it, they've made some changes. Nigel Smart looks as if he's gone off the ground, and Danny Hughes is coming onto that full-back position, but it was a dream start, Peter, and St Kilda wanted the ball around the centre of the ground, and I think that sums up. We can all praise Lockett, but the point is the ball has got to get down to you, and the guys up the ground really did well.
I agree with you, Don. It was all one out of the centre, and they're falling down badly at half forward, the Adelaide Crows, but I think they really had to make a move at full back, and good to see Danny Hughes on.
Max Stevens, Ken Sheldon and Graham Corns, what do they have to say at quarter time?
Well, you were spot on, Bruce. Kenny Sheldon was more than pleased. Big raps for Tony Lockett, his first game back, and he's told his fellas they've got to keep applying the pressure. Adelaide have to play catch-up football, and we can make it even harder for them in this second quarter. Graham Corns very disappointed across the centre line. He's told the players in that area to start teaming up, manning up, and show a little bit of courage.
Thanks for that, Max. 45 to 1. So the Saints to the left and Adelaide to the right, Micken and Vidovic. Just have a look for us, Don, and see if Jarman's gone back on. McGuinness, Filkey, still Filkey. Wasted the footy in the first quarter with 3 or 4 kicks. That's a high, slow one. Took forever to get there. And Hodges and Frawley, and it'll be a ball up.
No.
So Hughes is on. And it looks like Jarman's still on the interchange.
Yeah, I can't pick up Jarman at all, Bruce.
He's got to be injured. You wouldn't leave him on there for that long.
Well, Smart, I don't know about taking him off the ground. He's a real good player. I think a change of position would have been better for him. There's a quick kick by McDermott to the half-forward line. They badly need a couple of quick goals, the Crows, to get something moving. Saints have done it easy. Here's David Grant, a very, very good player, Grant. He's got some strength now, St Kilda in this side. It was that a free kick? It was a mark anyway to Abernathy. Talented player. Had a lot of AFL experience. Bruce Abernathy to half forward. Klug versus Muller. Punched away by Muller. The Saints again through Harvey. The running player is Ralph Smith. Oh, backup support from Nathan Burke. Burke to the half forward line. A shocking kick. Straight to Bartlett.
Quick give to Lee. And Winmar. Lockett.
Well, Bruce, so we're only just into the second quarter and the wheels are starting to fall up as far as Adelaide are concerned. Lee should have got rid of that ball so much sooner. He just went 2 steps too long, and it was a great tackle. And look what happens.
Well, the Saints have made the Crows pay for their mistakes. He froze there, Lee, wasn't he?
He just went too long, didn't he?
That's when you haven't got confidence
in
your players
Peter.
upfield.
Yeah,
that happens.
Also.
Well, Lockett for his 5th. Kicks it across the front, and he's kicked 4 goals too. So the Saints are up to 7-4 to a point.
The one thing about Danny Hughes, now, Danny Hughes will always be beaten by a quick leading full forward. But if you kick it high, he's a difficult player to beat because he's very, very strong. And Lockett will know that, even though he's strong himself. But he will keep leading on Hughes. Now the short one by Scott Lee has found Bruce Lindsay. Lindsay to the half-back line. And good strong mark by Russell Morris has You can see he's a player that has regained his confidence. Beautiful mark and a long driving drop punt. Stuart Lowe can't take the mark. Here's Pekin, hooks it back in front of goal. Oh, Lockett's on his own. No one's near him. Oh, Danny Hughes 25 metres away, left Lockett, and Lockett has been given a gift.
What you can do if you're the coach is just sit there and shake your head in amazement.
Well, you wouldn't leave him alone, would you? Tony Lockett, he's kicked 4 and missed 2. I don't think he'll miss this one from directly in front. Tony Lockett for his 5th. Bang! It's a goal. 5 goals to Tony Lockett. The Saints steaming ahead. 8-4-52. Adelaide 1 point.
Well, he's had 7 shots at goal, 5 goals too. And St Kilda have a total of 8 scoring shots. So Lockett, 12 scoring shots at goal. So Lockett contributing well over half.
What a remarkable scoreline, 52-1, and Lockett with 5 goals. Marshall, Hodges. That was Cummings to Frawley, to Grant. Well, they're playing with tremendous confidence. Not a good kick. I say not a good kick, it was a tumbler, but it found Vidovic. To centre half forward Low. Bartlett did a good job that time. Lindsay and Hughes. Hughes' quick kick, but ill-directed. Daniels. Tregenza with him. Over the top, and Burke just given a little shove by Bickley, and it'll be a throw-in.
Well, I saw St Kilda play last week, and I've got no doubt whatsoever if Winmar and Lockett were playing, it could have been a different result. They had tons of the ball against Carlton. They couldn't kick goals. There's Marshall to the half-forward line. Punched away by Ralph Smith, straight to Filkey. Filkey on the left foot should set it up maybe for a goal here. There's the kick up into the square. Frawley at the back. Grant, socket off the ground, and it is actually a point. It's forced over the line. So that's another behind to Adelaide. They're still yet to open their account with a goal, but St Kilda remain on 8-4. It's been a whitewash so far.
Frawley bangs it to half-back, Low the target. Bartlett against him. Harvey to Morris, playing in front of Maynard. To Daniels. Again Lockett on a lead. Well done Hughes, stayed with him all the way. Lee. Hughes again, good handball. McGuinness has been very quiet. 2 bounces, a third. He's trying to draw Winmar. It goes to Filkey now. Stop, start again. Handball out to Bartlett. He's got Klug inside of him. Left foot looking for Hodges. Vidovic in the front. Hodges does well to spoil. Klug goes to ground. Traps the footy. Harvey's quick kick. Craven concedes some ground. Burke, good tackle. Bickley, now McGuinness with a chance. Still McGuinness. Drop punt, good kick. Set it up nicely. And Murphy's taken the mark in the pocket. I know they've had to go away from the goal front, but it's the first time Adelaide's found a man when going into attack. Michael Murphy, who kicked 6 goals against Footscray. And to say that Adelaide need this would be one of the understatements of the 91 season. She's drop punt. Good looking kick. Might have just got it through. He has. A goal to Adelaide. Murphy's first. Adelaide's first. They're 1-2 to 8-4.
Well, 6 goals last week, Murphy. You go back a couple of years ago, he was a North Melbourne player, only played a handful of games. And St Kilda's still going, as we see here, still going in hard for the ball. It spills out to McGuinness. He spots Murphy, who didn't let him down.
Badly needed one to Adelaide. They need 3 or 4 more quick ones to get themselves back in this game. There's Coughlin off the side of the boot. Felke ran past the ball. And that could be holding the ball. There'll be a free kick going the way of the Crows.
He should have pushed it on. He made play Craven, but he just didn't follow it up. He just didn't push it out. He tried to trap the ball.
Marshall, the centre wing. And it makes a big difference when McGuinness is firing. On it goes to Filkey. He ran too far. Gets his kick in. Then it rebounded back to him. Here's a chance for a kick at goal by Bickley and hit the post. So that makes it one poster apiece. Well, that would have lifted them a little bit if he could have kicked that one, but he missed. 1-3 plays 8-4.
Marshall doing some good work in the centre. And Filkey getting some touches. Still wasting a few balls. Frawley's kick's a good one. Bartlett, Lowe and Micken. Quick kick by Harvey. And it's going to come back to him.
Yeah, he's down after he got rid of the ball, Harvey.
It should be down the ground.
So Harvey to centre wing. Rice on his own. And a lot of St Kilda players in that situation today. Squeezes it beautifully to Morris in the centre square. He's got Winmar wide. Everyone looking for Lockett. What will he do? Morris's kick. Lockett the target. Ooh. Through the fingers. Hughes. Daniels. Tregenza. Still Daniels. Had plenty of time to think about it. McAdam. Well, Abernethy will be disappointed there. 7 kicks for McAdam.
Interesting to see what Mickham's doing off the ball. He's gone back to man up on Lockett. Hughes running up the ground. There was also a good block earlier by Micken to get there and contest against Lockett, because St Kilda are predictable. They're looking for Lockett on every occasion.
McAdam from 50 metres. Morris in the front. Micken's punch away. Now Hughes and Hart.
Darryl Hart on the left foot. Oh, he's kicked it. He didn't really have anyone to kick it to. They'll be hoping this bounces out. It doesn't. Winmar to half-forward. Micken should snaffle this one. He does. Mark Micken taking over the number 1 ruck mantle from Negri. Umpire's called play on here. He's gone short. He's found Chris McDermott. Oh, a little chip pass. Oh, boy. Lucky to get away with it. Free kick was paid. Then the advantage to McGuinness, who's starting to come into the game. Here's Muller. Ralph Smith. 2 players that were discarded by other clubs. Burke to centre wing and McAdam. The ball hits the deck.
Well done, Daniels.
Well done by Jason Daniels. You heard Don Scott say on the peak, and all they're desperate, the Saints. Chris McDermott. Well played. Darryl Hart wide. Scott Lee looking for someone to give it to. Chips it back. That was excellent play to Krug.
Wasn't a good kick by Lee, but it still found its mark in Klug.
It's got Jamison, Murphy and Hodges all in the goal square.
It's a bit slow.
Gee, what a difference Hodges returned to league football and Lockett's. I mean, Hodges not out for as long, I know, but Scotty hasn't had a touch.
Good.
Torpedo punt, kicked it very long, not quite straight enough, and Vidovic claims the mark and given it. Goes to play on. G's in trouble here. He'll have to concede it behind, and he has. So the Crows are up to 1-3, and St Kilda are 8-4. 1-4 to 8-4.
I think, Bruce, the worst player, if you're out for a while with an injury, the worst player you could come back if you're full forward and play on would be Danny Frawley for the half-back line, because he pushes, shoves, scrags, he's desperate, and he's a very good player with it. There's Winmar to half-forward. McAdam is the flyer and can't take it. And the South Australians would certainly know Gilbert McAdam, former Central District star, and won the Magarey. And that could be a free kick, is it?
It is going to McAdam.
So that must have been after the out-of-bounds decision, Don. Something must have happened. There's McAdam to the half-forward line. Micken reads it well, but a push out.
It's to Morris. It's pushed out.
Well, he's one out Lockett on Hughes. If he kicks it quickly, there's the kick. Lockett takes front position. Here he comes. Oh, pushed out. Yes, a free kick to Lockett, given away by Hughes. No doubt about that free kick.
Well, I suppose he was either going to take the mark, and Hughes was committed.
To show a strength by Lockett, and he took front position, and that's why he got the free kick.
Now watch this on replay.
Oh yeah, across the ear. No wonder Lockett was remonstrating. He's kicked 5. What a comeback. Unbelievable. Probably not fit. As far as match fitness, certainly not. And he's lining up for his 6th goal. Well, he is a great player. Tony Lockett. For the Saints' 9th goal. There's the kick. Oh, another poster. Bad luck. And he's got enough pride to be very, very dirty on that. He's racing down to say a few words, I think.
8-5-1-4. Lee. Hughes. Oh, gee, Lockett's just charged into him there.
It's against Lockett.
And so it should be. Pretty ordinary performance, that one, by the big fella.
I agree. I tell you what, that was very close to reportable.
Well, he just took his eye off the foot. He's given 50 metres away, and the reason he has is because he trod on Hughes' head. Here we go.
There we go.
Well, if Dermot,
that was fair enough. That was fair enough.
If Dermot Brereton had seen that one, he got 5 weeks for the similar
Peter
game.
was different. You can't compare the two of them.
You reckon, Don?
My word.
It was different, was it?
My word, completely different.
Hughes to Marshall. And there'll be a throw-in. Well, you might get an argument on that one, Donny.
You'll get it from me for a start, but...
it wouldn't be hard to argue with you anyway.
It'll be interesting. Hughes has gone back to Stan Lockett now, and I think a few words might be said.
Well, the whole point, the ball wasn't there, was it?
Daniels to Craven, who's been the best of the Rovers. Rice the target here, all Winmar. Oh, Specky to Rice. Lockett one out again. He'll kick it to him again, and he'll take another one. Well, you can mouth off and let Danny know all about it, but no one could have stopped Lockett there.
It was quite interesting. As that ball was coming down, and just before Rice marked the ball, Lockett had his back to the play. I mean, he's really hit a purple patch. Then he leads out. He's in front of Hughes. He's not quick, Hughes. But the ball was delivered so well out in front of him. Well, I mean, this is just a purple patch, Peter, isn't
well,
it?
the way St Kilda are playing, no one, it was not Danny Hughes' fault. No one will stop Lockett because they're kicking so well to him, and you've got a champion full forward leading. So,
and they're giving him some room, which is all important. He had a paddock to run into there. Okay, Lockett for goal number 6. He's got it. Well, it's Don mentioned unbelievable earlier on. And again, Hughes and Lockett are at it. You can see Hughes with a bloodied nose. And it's 9-5 to 1-4.
and Bruce, that's where he's so good, Lockett, though. He does intimidate opponents, you know, with his size and strength, and not many full forwards are normally copying it from backmen, but Lockett gives as much as he takes. You can see the cut above the eye of Danny Hughes. And that'll be the emergency umpire out there talking to Lockett and Hughes. 9-5 plays 1-4. Micken trying to get it out of the centre to Lindsay. Lindsay to half forward. This is Hart versus Cummings. To half back is Grant Filkey. They need to get something moving, the Crows. Marshall, he's been good. Hodges, no, he's playing today. Socket off the ground by Clue. Went about 50 metres and straight over the line. But
well, he's well on record to kick to set a record, isn't he, Lockett? He's got 6 to date, and we're only halfway through the second quarter. The record is 14, held by John Coleman back in 1954.
Klug, McDermott, snapped by Bickley, and just missing. So the Crows are up to 1-5 to 9-5. The emergency umpire, as we showed you as we first came back from that break, talking to Lockett, and the Adelaide runner has gone out to talk to Hughes, and we believe Smart's about to come back on. So it's all happening here. 9-5, 1-5. Lowe. So aren't they a better side suddenly with Lockett and Winmar, because Lowe's got a bit of freedom and the permutations are so much more and so varied. There's Morris, missed by Lindsay, Coughlin, Pekin, Daniels caught by Lindsay, Pekin again, free kick to Daniels.
well, Bruce, it's 2 champions coming back into the side. There's Kitski about to come on. Oh, Dean Rice has dropped the sitter. Scott Lee. Kitski on, Vidovic off for the Saints. Here's Muller. Burke, they're playing with confidence. Ralph Smith, McAdam. Grab that down quickly. Good play, McAdam. They're all playing
this
well.
is good by Ralph Smith. He delivered the ball.
Ralph Smith has followed on to half forward. Where's Lockett? Here he comes at the back. Can he get there? He flies. 2 bites. It's a mark. Oh, he's on fire, Tony Lockett. He's kicked 6. And he will kick from 35 directly in front. And the St Kilda crowd are ecstatic.
Well, he's behind this time. Makes first grab at it. Micken doing the right thing in front, but Lockett just too high. And Hughes coming off. Well, that's Smart coming on now. Whether they bring Smart back onto Lockett or make a change, we'll just wait and see.
Well, I feel for Hughes at the moment.
So do I.
Pretty ordinary effort to pull him off under those circumstances.
I reckon that is the worst thing I've seen in years. That I really do. To drag a man off in front of the St Kilda stand. Here's Lockett, by the way, having a kick. And he has put it through. 7 goals, Tony Lockett. St Kilda 10-5 to 1-5.
Well, Smart looks like he's going to go on the half-back line. Maynard has got the job.
Don, I cannot believe a coach should drag a player
yes,
off
but
like
Peter,
that.
no, in all fairness, now listen, Smart was warming up on the boundary line before Lockett had taken that mark. So obviously they were going to make a move. Get Hughes off, put Maynard to full back, and Smart will probably go half-back.
Well, 65 to 11 at Moorabbin. Free kick to Lowe. And the wheels have just fallen off for Adelaide.
Well, I think that's the most belittling thing I've seen in a long time. I really mean that, to do that to a player.
To have Hughes dragged off under those circumstances. Here's Maynard. Free kick to Lockett against
Shepherding. You can see there that Maynard and Micken were in front and behind play. Lockett was shepherded off the ball. And Scott Lee there protesting.
Well, I thought they were a little bit stiff there.
Well, I mean, Peter, it's shepherding.
I'd like to see it again. Now, have a look.
Well, there, see, he had he did not have any intent on the ball whatsoever, Scott Lee.
I thought the guy held his ground.
Yeah, but he didn't.
You're allowed to hold your ground in football, Don.
Well, Murphy's gone off and Hughes has come back on. So, Lockett for number 8. You better get that record book out, Donny, because he's put it through. It's another one. Well, it's one of the most remarkable chapters in the history of football, this. 11-5 to 1-5. We've seen things at Moorabbin today that will be remembered forever. And, well, unlike you, Peter, I reckon Lee was standing there and had his eye on the footy. Still, Don, we can't always agree with you. 8 goals to Lockett.
You are allowed to hold your ground. As simple as that.
Well, 11-5 to 1-5, and the big fellow's got 8. Did you ever kick 8 before half-time?
Well, I'll tell you something. The league record is in a chance today. 17 goals is the, or is it 18, Don? I'll have to check on that. Here's a kick to the half-forward line. Bartlett, he's kicked 8, and he has been magnificent. What a great comeback, and it has really lifted the crowd. Lindsay to half-forward. Danny Hughes back on the ground. To the half-forward line goes Hughes. Hart trapped it well, doesn't get the bounce. Now he's got a Darryl Hart. Hand pass back. Jamison has got it. Tries a banana kick and hits the post. That deserved a goal. It was a good attempt, but the Crows cannot do a thing right.
Well, he should have really centred that ball back in, because Bickley was back in the centre of the ground. Had he just lifted his eyes, he would have spotted Bickley by himself.
Frawley. Low the target. Bartlett makes front position and Micken. Now McGuinness. Harvey. Pressure from Bickley. Harvey taps it to Pekin. Bickley hangs in there now. Winmar, who was electrifying in the first quarter. Here's Filkey. Kick to centre half forward. Taken by Hart, who's worked pretty hard. Hodges the target, but poor kick. It never got to him.
I'm thinking of that league record, Bruce. It's 18 goals by Fred Fanning of Melbourne. Gordon Coventry kicked 17. So, like, he's got 8 now.
And you kicked 16.
Yeah, got 16 once, but I tell you what, you've got to kick well and play well, and the way he's going, he could do it today, Tony Lockett, and no doubt they'll be looking for him now. Here's Tregenza receiving from Hughes to the half-forward line and the mark. Taken by Muller and all these St Kilda players lifting. Muller to the centre of the ground. Robert Harvey, good mark. Wide, they got wide. Ralph Smith trying to soccer it off the ground. McGuinness tackled beautifully. Craven ridden into the ground, but certainly not a free kick deserved there. McAdam, where's Lockett? Lockett's gone back. Here's McAdam going short to Lockett. There is nothing you can do about that, Rodney Maynard.
Well, Maynard was in front, wasn't he? I mean, Lockett went back, then he went forward. I mean, and McAdam on the break, no pressure whatsoever. But the tackle started back here with Ralph Smith in the centre of the ground. The way he disposed of the Adelaide player. and St Kilda capitalised on it. They're just doing everything right, St Kilda.
10 marks to Lockett. This is a sensational display by the big full forward, no doubt about that. Coming back from a serious back injury. Can he kick his 9th? Oh, I think he's done it. Yes! 9 goals to Tony Lockett. 12-5 the Saints. Adelaide 1-6.
Well, they're just starting to go away too, St Kilda now. There was a tackle. Craven getting onto it. Morris, now McAdam. And McAdam using what speed. Then he goes for a bounce, confident. Then he decided to chip it, and Lockett was behind Maynard, went left, right, then John went out in front.
77-12. 77-12 here. Hughes at centre half forward. Good looking kick. Just missing. Don starting to go away, the Saints.
Really, Bruce?
I think they were starting from about 2 minutes in the first quarter. Danny Hughes, they should use him on the ball because he has got a lot of strength and guts.
12-5, 1-7. Micken and Bartlett stood their ground. Tregenza trapped it. Bartlett caught by Pekin. Daniels to Winmar. Where's Lockett again? One bounce. Kicks it sideways. Lockett the target. Will this be 10? One hand, no grab. Chance for Lee. Bustled out of it. Rice in there. And can he kick 10 before half-time? That's the big question.
Well, we're just looking at these records. We go way back to 1945. Sel Murray kicked 10 for Richmond. Peter Hudson 10 against Richmond. In 71. And Robert Walls for Carlton, also against Richmond in 76.
That's all before half-time, Don, is it? Okay, McAdam. To the goal square. Lockett and Maynard. He's got it again. Well, won't this be a celebration? Here it is, number 10. He's put it through. Now he's going to have to come back. Well, an anti-climax suddenly. Couldn't play on after taking a mark.
Well, the umpire must have blown time on, did he? Because he took the mark and immediately raced out to the right. I can never understand that one, to be quite honest. Maybe the player was taking the mark and he had to get the okay, but...
Well, there's the angle. I've got a feeling...
well, you can see how fit he is. He's got his hands on his knees, Lockett, so he's blowing pretty hard.
Well, I've never... Here he goes, running out to the right to straighten up and kicks into the man. But I've never watched a game or commentated on a game when I've seen a player really in a position to break the league record like this. 18 has stood for a long, long time, and he's got a genuine chance today.
Smart and Morris. Morris off the ground for another one. It's all happening for the Saints. It's raining goals here. Well, Maradona would have been proud of that one. 13-5 to 1-7.
Really, you've just got to be here or watching it on TV to believe what is happening here. It's a massacre. It's an understatement. And everything St Kilda do is the right thing. The poor old Crows, they're just playing catch-up football.
13-5 to 1-7. It is very difficult to come down here and beat St Kilda at any time. Here's Nathan Burke. Klug. Oh, they've got the fumbles now. They've lost it again. Robert Harvey, brilliantly done. Can't quite trap it at the last moment. There's Filkey.
You're talking about full forwards now. I was involved in a game where Peter Hudson broke down in 1972, and he had a purple patch just as Lockett. I think he kicked 8 goals
and did his knee
to just halfway through the second quarter.
And he was on Ray Biffin and Barry Burke. They collided. I remember that, Don. To half forward. Hodges having a tough battle up there against Frawley. Tregenza. It's still in play. Oh, everything going for the Saints. The kick from Jason Daniels is marked by Marshall. Marshall to half forward. Or some pushing and shoving there in the pack. Hodges, oh, look at Frawley. Look at the strength of Frawley. Trying to shuffle it out. And, oh, gee, I haven't seen a St Kilda side so hungry and tough for a long, long time. They have really got a good lineup going at the moment, and if they can get Russell Jeffrey back on that side, Don, that'll help as well.
Well, he might be struggling to get back in because Ralph Smith's doing a good job, as is Grant, but these guys up the ground are being rewarded by the forwards down the ground, namely Lockett, so you can lift your performance.
Quick kick by Burke. Coughlin and Lindsay. Now Pekin with a run of it. Sweeping handball. Great football to Rice. He's got a paddock in front of him. And again for 3. Well, they're screaming for Tony, and he's kicked it to him. Nearly this time. Craven to the ground, and he snaps a magnificent looking kick. It's another one. Well, the hair stands on the back of the neck when footy like this at the moment. It's champagne. It's creme de la creme. 14-5 to 1-7.
Well, this little bloke's got a lot of composure. He's only played about 10 games of league football. He broke his leg early on in the career. He's been down here for a long time, maybe 3 or 4 years. He's got a lot of pace. He's picking up Tony McGuinness, and he was instrumental in getting St Kilda going early in this game. Well done. He's only a little pocket battleship, but he's doing particularly well.
Well, this is a very, very disappointing game to watch. It's great to watch the skills of the Saints, but very disappointing. This is no contest. Here's Nathan Burke. Now Lockett's led to the pocket, but Burke's kicked straight into the man coming towards him in Filkey. Filkey, great tackle by Burke. Grabbed by Abernathy. Abernathy to centre wing, and the mark dropped out there by Pekin, and the ball's kicked over the line. Now, is that on the full? I don't think so. It'll be a throw-in. Tim Pekin being a great asset for St Kilda, a real goer. Get a game with Fitzroy now, I think he'd be first selected.
Funny how your football fortunes can change. Winmar, confidence does everything, doesn't it? Now McAdam looks for Lockett. Half volley. Handball. McAdam again. Again McAdam. Left foot. Brilliant, hits the post. Bad luck, McAdam.
Actually, Lockett should have got a free kick then. He was dragged down by the jumper. He was very stiff then. It could have been another one. As he led for that ball, Maynard grabbed him by the jumper, as we see Lindsay to the half-back line.
He's tried, this fellow, Micken, especially in the centre bounce work there. At least he's got his share of hit-outs.
He's improved, Don. Improved a lot.
7 marks.
Micken, the centre of the ground. A one-handed attempt by Klug. Oh, the hand pass straight to Winmar. Clever hand pass. Muller to the half-volley. Here comes Lockett. Oh, he couldn't grab that one. Dean Rice. McAdam. Around the corner goes Gilbert McAdam, and he misses to the right. And what a dangerous forward line they got down there.
3rd point, McAdam.
Look at that, 13 goals. This will help the percentage.
Lindsay, Micken for his 8th mark on the 50-metre line. McGuinness has been quiet. I noticed him running past him a moment ago. Still Jarman off the ground. Centre wing. Winmar. And kicks to the vacant spot. So less than a minute remaining of what's been a one-sided but in many ways outstanding half of football. Winmar, like Lockett, breathing pretty heavily. August the 11th, his last game of football. Rubbed out for 10 weeks with the Brereton incident. Micken beaten to
he's held. Oh, come on, umpire, you're right there.
McAdam to Winmar, caught by Filkey.
I agree with you, Don.
Bartlett, quick handball to McDermott. Sells a dummy on low, then goes short. And Micken takes his 9th mark at half-back.
A lot of that goes on, Peter, nowadays, holding off the ball.
Well, it was in front of the umpire. He was dragged off the ball. I couldn't believe it either. There's the centre wing. Not that it'll make that much difference at the moment. Nathan Burke over the top. Pekin. Still gets in his hand pass. That was a very poor tackle. Robert Harvey, they're just doing it as they like at the moment. Harvey to Lowe. He's shoved out of it. Stuart Lowe. Now he should get this moving quickly because he's got Lockett one out if he kicks it now. Well, he's going to have a shot from 50 metres, Stewie Lowe. The distance might be doubtful. There's the siren to end a brilliant half of football here at Moorabbin by the Saints. St Kilda 14-7-91 lead the Adelaide Crows 1-7, a total of 13.
And that's the man who's been the focal point. An unbelievable comeback by Lockett. Out of the game for the whole of this season after that Foster's Cup injury against West Coast. And the 20-odd thousand, and I'll tell you what, a few might come down to the ground when they've heard the score at half-time. to cheer on their hero with Winmar and McAdam, who have been absolutely brilliant. But they'll stand to a man and a woman and a child here when Lockett walks off, because he's given them all some joy here, but he hasn't given the Crows much. It's 91-13 at half-time at Moorabbin. Yeah, just dominating. Well, they've been celebrating in the terraces at half-time because their beloved Saints lead by 13 goals. 14-7 to 1-7.
and Lockett with 9 goals at half-time, so Adelaide in tremendous trouble. Well, with the birth of the Adelaide Crows, the South Australian National Football League has taken on a new look competition this season with 9 teams. And as in the AFL, it's the Eagles who are dominating. Now, the Eagles are a brand new team in Adelaide. They're a combination of the old Woodville and West Torrens club. And as Max Stevens reports, their coach is somebody a lot of people will remember.
The West Torrens Football Club and the Woodville Football Club joined forces this season and created the Eagles. After 6 rounds, the new side remains undefeated, sitting on top of the SANFL ladder. After more than a decade with Norwood, coach Neil Baum took the helm at the Eagles in their debut year.
Well, I can't lose, you see, because I live in Adelaide, I lived in Melbourne for a while and I come from Perth, so unless Sydney or Brisbane wins, I'm in trouble.
Yes, he played in Melbourne all right, and any football lover would remember him in the 70s as a tough customer with Richmond. Neil Baum is just what this new Adelaide club needed, a breath of fresh air.
The Eagles here are doing very well. We struggled early, and we didn't do as well, and anywhere near as well as we thought we would in the Foundation Cup, but fortunately our form so far has been pretty good in the real season.
While the Eagles soar high in South Australia, Baum is also keeping a close eye on the Adelaide Crows.
In a lot of ways it's good because we have got our local guys playing in what we call, I suppose everyone calls the best competition without having to leave home, which is a good thing. On the negative point of view, obviously club footy has suffered a little bit. We've suffered a bit crowd-wise, but I think crowds are pretty well up to budget as that we expected them to be, so we're not going too badly.
He believes the SANFL and the Crows have learnt a heap from what has happened in Western Australia.
Anyone who knows anything about business knows that if you don't look after that, the foundation of the business, the rest of it's not going to last at all. And in South Australia, I think that's our advantage, and at least the two organisations, the Crows and the SANFL, are virtually the same, and they're working to the same ends.
Port Adelaide, North Adelaide and Glenelg will again be a force in the SANFL, but this year the Eagles may be the name on everyone's beak come September. Max Stevens for AFL Today.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1991 AFL Premiership season.
Well, some other interesting matches going on in Melbourne today. A couple of the heavyweights, Hawthorn up against West Coast and Essendon against Carlton. Let's have a look at the scores at half-time. And West Coast continue on their rampaging way. They lead the Hawks 10-9 to 5-6 at half-time. And we shouldn't look too far ahead, but next week it's Essendon and West Coast at Windy Hill. What a ripper that should be, because the Bombers are 5 goals in front of Carlton at half-time, 9-5 to 4-4. And Brisbane again doing well in Melbourne. They lead at the MCG against the D's, 10-7 to 8-8, 67 to 56. What an upset that would be if Brisbane could hang on in that match at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Well, St Kilda are 13 goals in front. How many will Tony Lockett kick today? We'll find out when we return to Moorabbin.
10. Oh, that's okay. Don, we don't have any individual player stats because of the computer problem, okay?
No, well, we've got
Yep,
some
good.
here if we can find the bloody things.
Rocky, we do have some stats ourselves, so you don't want us to... Yep.
Have you pinched them, Bruce? Well, here it is. I found it.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I've got it. I've got it.
Don, yeah, Don's got it.
I've got it. He's number 1, McAdam.
Gee, it's interesting how the Saints, with 12 goals in front, Macklin, they were just starting to go away.
Oh, yeah, the wheels had fallen off, you said, halfway through the... Jeez, the wheels had fallen off earlier than that.
Tense up, Don. Tomorrow's matches in the AFL. Sydney play Geelong at the SCG, and at the Western Oval it's Footscray up against Richmond. So just check your local guides for the details of the coverage of those two matches. Well, Max Stevens, Graham Corns and the Adelaide camp must have been very sorrowful at half-time. Any news from there at all?
Well, surprise, surprise, Bruce. We didn't get into the Adelaide rooms as one would expect, and I suppose what can Graham Corns do, as you said in your half-time summary? He's tried 3 players on Tony Lockett, Nigel Smart, Danny Hughes, and then Rodney Maynard in that second quarter. Incidentally, Jarman, as in Andrew Jarman, he looks okay, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's back on the game shortly.
Well, if he's okay, it's surprising he's sitting on the bench and keeping his bottom warm that way, because if Adelaide need anyone, it's Jarman right now. Abernethy round the corner. Micken and Pekin together. Hart snared it all right. Hughes wants it. Hart will chip it to Hughes at half forward and finds him. About 50 metres out. Plays on. Drop punt across the face of goal. Hodges, who hasn't had a kick at goal yet. Bickley, did he give a free kick away to Frawley? Muller. Burke. It's been a tremendous defence. And Micken takes the mark. And Pete McKenna, we've been talking about Lockett throughout the first half, as Winmar does brilliantly, but this defence has been pretty good. They've given away 1 goal.
Well, here they go again. Russell Morris, the long booming kick. Stuart Lowe, up go the big hands. It's a mark. Oh, don't tell me they're going to start the third quarter with a goal. It's been a brilliant exhibition by St Kilda. I don't know about the opposition, though. That's been very, very poor.
Well, he's marked a spot, Peter. He's put a little divot in the turf as he went back, Stuart Lowe. Didn't seem to help last week.
No, every time they did that last week, they missed against Carlton.
He kicked 1-4 last week.
Well, Stewie Lowe from about 40 metres, directly in front. Not well known for his straight kicking. That looked a lot better, though. Look at that. Right through the middle. That is Stuart Lowe's second goal. St Kilda go on from where they left off. 15-7 plays 1-7.
Well, he hasn't had a good year, Stuart Lowe. If we go back early in this game, there was a sign of an unconfident player. He's fumbled the ball on 3 occasions, but then again, he's had the mantle all by himself up on that forward line without Lockett. Okay, Morris has been firing a little bit, but he's the one who's really had to shoulder the brunt of the forward line work. And it was a lot to ask of him. He's starting to gain his confidence. We saw on that occasion taking that one-hander. And he's just starting to find his feet. Let's hope he goes on, because he had a brilliant year last year. He's the club's best and fairest. And an underrated player for a number of years, Stuart Lowe.
15-1 at Moorabbin. A 14-goal margin. And the sun's shining brightly, and it's shining brightly on the 20 St Kilda players. Micken wins that tap. It doesn't go very far. Coughlin tackled. Kitschke off the ground. Winmar waits for it. Taps it on. It's all happening for them. Bickley finds a bit of space. Filkey. Let's hope Adelaide can play with some confidence and attack the goal front in the second half.
Really?
Took too long, Filkey, and then a very poor kick to Grant.
Well, what's wrong, Bruce, is that Hodges is on a lead and Filkey goes for another bounce, so Hodges out of position.
Winmar to Harvey, and this is the rebound that's been happening all day. One bounce. Waits for the last moment. Filkey puts some pressure on him, and Harvey doesn't do a good job of it in the end. Just he took too long as well.
Not many skill errors they've made today at the Saints, but that was one, a poor kick by Robert Harvey. This is Scott Lee to centre wing. Good mark to Micken. Geez, improved Micken.
Mark number 11, Peter.
Well,
But he had a compaction injury last year. He's had problems with his calf muscles. Had it operated on pre-season, and he is, as you say, a much improved player.
Well, here's Filkey, a shocking kick to centre wing. Russell Morris, McAdam, brilliantly to Coughlin, smothered the handball. Lindsay dives on top of it. Tuttle balls it to Smart. This is Tregenza. McDermott can give it to Klug. Klug is on his own. Now he can give it over the top to Murphy. He does so. Now what will Murphy do? From 40 metres. Straightens up, kicks a goal, and I think it's a goal to the Crows. Yes, it is. Michael Murphy kicks his second. The Adelaide Crows move on to 2-7, trailing the Saints 15-7.
Well, he kicked one in the second, Murphy. And for an interstate team, you always know when they've kicked a major. There is just no reaction at all from the crowd. As Murphy sets sail, they haven't kicked too many of those, the Crows. In actual fact, Murphy has kicked their total goal score.
13-goal margin. Kitchke. Smart, who was the first of the trio trying to unlock it today. Wide to Tregenza. Daniels has won that contest easily. Tregenza, free kick for a trip, and it'll go back to Simon Tregenza, the multiple premiership player from Port Adelaide. Now with the Crows, drop punt to centre wing, Marshall, and over the back Murphy. Good mark, 6 goals against Footscray and a couple today. Looks for Klug on a lead, Muller with him. Pekin. Harvey and Murphy. Still with Murphy. Marshall tries to get hold of it. Kitchke with him. Quick handball away by Cummings. And the Saints get it away to Craven.
Danny Craven, a very, very impressive little robe. A beautiful kick too to Dean Rice. Now Lockett's one out. Now he elects to kick it wide to McAdam, who balked his opponent. Now it's Winmar. He'll try and hook it back to Lockett. He can't get it round enough. And he puts it out of bounds on the full. Well, actually, McAdam just held his ground there, as the Adelaide player did in the second quarter, really, didn't he?
Scott Lee.
Scott Lee, yes, on Lockett. But
Completely different.
what's
It
that?
was completely different to Scott Lee's episode.
Oh, well, it was
Once you get on the horse, you can't get off.
Well, it was a 50-metre penalty as well to Abernathy. Well, just reminding you, Don, that you might have made a mistake for once in your life. Abernathy to the half-forward line. Over the back is Pekin. Traps it well. Ralph Smith. Pekin again. Harvey off the side of the boot. Will it stay in? No, it won't. It bounces out on the full, so it'll be a penalty free kick to Bartlett. Number 14 for the Adelaide Crows, Alan Bartlett. Did a tough job on Stuart Lowe.
Hodges his target at centre half forward, and he got underneath it and Grant over the back.
He's an underrated player, this fellow.
Is he ever?
He's missed a couple of matches through injury this year. Vital player to the Saints, can play anywhere across the back line and even up forward. Tregenza to Klug, finds him this time.
This player's got the knack of being in the right place at the right time, Klug. Always manages to get the ball away and has held his position at centre half forward. It's a difficult position to play.
7 kicks, Bruce.
Let's see if he can kick his goal, and it'll be his first and the Crows' third. Drop punt, not going to quite make the distance. In front, Kitchke. Harvey read it beautifully. Kick towards Winmar, waits for it. Filkey overruns it. Winmar with great skill to Harvey. He's an exhilarating player. Harvey to centre wing. Morris outnumbered. Smart. McAdam was lurking. Bartlett's hands to Abernathy. Just chips it over to Marshall at centre wing.
Marshall to the half-forward line. Klug again. Thumped down by Muller. Still going with it. Muller bumped off the ball. He's got backup support from Craven. Craven again goes in to get it. Oh, he's a little workhorse. Klug battling hard. Lies on top of it. And the umpire deliberating, I think, there that both players were lying on top of the ball, and probably good umpiring there. Umpires Hayden Kennedy and Grant Vernon. The ball at half forward for the Crows. They've been really blitzed today. Lockett has kicked 9 goals for St Kilda. There's a holding the man decision. Will go to Grant. The advantage paid. Daniels looking for the hand pass. He's got Cummings running past. This is where the Saints are dangerous. He hooks it back to the centre of the ground.
Kick.
Beautiful kick, as Don Scott said. Now, Russell Morris kicks long. Lockett comes out, but he was a long way back. Micken takes yet another mark and gives it to Maynard.
Who gives it to Hart in the centre. Klug on a lead. Muller with him. Klug holds his position well, takes a good mark. Excellent mark against Muller. Funnily enough, Adelaide enjoying their best patch for the whole match in the last 5 minutes. Klug, Hodges on a lead. Cut out again. Grant doing a good job by coming over the back of Frawley. Ralph Smith's give was very good to Burke. With pace, Harvey goes to ground. Gets up, no pressure at all. Then bangs it to low. Kenny half volley at the big fellow. Well, he keeps it in front and can't quite keep it in play. But wry smile there from the champion of 1990, winning the best and fairest at Moorabbin.
Gee, have a look at the build on him, isn't he? Big bloke.
He moves well too, doesn't he?
Oh, he
carries
does.
his weight well.
Winmar, brilliant. Ralph Smith resurrecting his career. Sean Ralph Smith to half forward. Scott Lee, he battles hard all the time. He gives 100%. Lee, a clever little chip pass. He's found Alan Bartlett. Bartlett to half forward was a bad kick. He kicks it straight to Kitski.
He was looking for Kitski on that occasion.
Hodges had a kick out. I don't think he has. Kicked by Kitski out wide. This is Pekin. McAdam caught underneath it. Abernethy at the back. Rice tackled. Now Smart. Coughlin. Pekin. Short to Morris. Now Lockett on a lead. Morris to the goal square. And kicks it behind.
Well, I wonder whether he's a little selfish on that occasion. Because Lockett was on a good lead. He only had to use a 9-iron, chip it over the top.
And Lockett was 10 metres clear of Rodney Maynard too. So I thought they might go Lockett mad in this half too and try and really get him to kick a big double-figure score. There's Nigel Smart, the centre wing. Oh, good mark. Morris full of confidence. On to Harvey. Kitski. Daniels. Now, where's Lockett? Back he goes. Lockett pushing and shoving. Is that a holding decision? No. And Maynard playing close and hard. Good full-back play on that occasion. The ball rolls over the line.
I think he'd be deceptively strong, Rodney Maynard. He's a farmer.
Micken and Lowe. Lowe in the front spot. Coughlin tries a fresh air shot. Oh, well done. Lockett kicks another one. That's his 10th off the ground. 10 to Big Tony. 16-8-2-7. Almost anticlimactic there, the way he's kicked his 10. And Donna was set up when Coughlin had a fresh air shot here and then able to get it over to Lockett.
Yes, well, just watch this. There's Coughlin going. Now he taps it back, centred it well. And I thought that, well, again, we're in the wrong position, but it looked as if that was over the line when Lockett made contact with it.
10 goals to Tony Lockett. It wasn't his most brilliant. A little bit of luck involved in, but nevertheless, it's a goal. Shuffled out to Smart, and that was from Bickley to half forward Cummings. Oh, too easy in defence. Winmar, that should have been a free against Winmar. Not paid. That Adelaide Crows player had no chance whatsoever. Abernethy to the half-forward line. Murphy was the flyer, couldn't take it. Oh, here they come again. Cummings, Ralph Smith gave the original hand pass. Centre wing is Filkey, keeps it in play. That was good play. Micken telling him to run on with it. The short one finds Hart. They're trying to get something going, the Crows. Marshall, Tregenza breaks the tackle. Now a chance for Hodges. Hodges up in front of Frawley. Frawley gets it to ground. Oh, good play by Bickley. Bickley on the left foot, kicks it across the face. Oh, and it bounces back into play to Nathan Burke. Oh, this is St Kilda's day as he kicks it wide to Daniels, who's on his own.
Thought about taking Tregenza on, now called to play on. It was a good kick by Daniels. He's been much maligned for his kicking. That one right down Morris's throat. And talk about improved and resurrecting. What about this fellow? It's his 13th kick playing at centre half forward. McAdam the target, takes a long time to get there. Low, well done, big fellow. Wobbly one, Harvey and Smart. Courage by both players there. Rice, a sweeping handball to Coughlin. Coughlin's handball to Craven. Here's another one. Danny with a drop punt and puts it through. And so he should smile, the little rover. 17-8 to 2-7. Craven with his second goal.
Well, really, I cannot ever remember witnessing a game like this, where a team has been in such complete control, and everything that they do, St Kilda is coming off. If it was a mistake or a ball in dispute, it'll always go St Kilda's way. Everything is just going their way at the moment. It is just quite unbelievable.
I wasn't in Tasmania last week, but was Hawthorn and Fitzroy similar to this?
Well, it was a different type of game, wasn't it? It was a much scrappier game, Peter. This is a little bit more attractive, I suppose.
Not for the Adelaide Crows, I wouldn't think it's attractive, but there's number 6, David Grant. Geez, an important player for St Kilda too. He gives a bit of solidity to that back line. Nathan Burke. Hand pass was from Rolf Smith on to Dean Rice to the half-forward line. Morris over the back, couldn't take the mark. Lindsay tried to crash his way through the pack. There's Abernathy, but the umpire in the meantime will come in and bounce at half-forward for St Kilda. 17-8 plays 2-7, of which Tony Lockett has kicked 10. Craven has kicked 2. Stuart Lowe's kicked 2. The only goal scorer for the Adelaide Crows, Michael Murphy, with 2.
Saints in attack. Lowe and Micken. Harvey to Rice. Chips it round the corner to McAdam. Free kick against Abernathy. McAdam has been a star. Sorry, Don.
It's interesting. Stuart Lowe's going down into the goal square. That's going to make it difficult for Lockett. But obviously, they work in tandem.
Micken lurking as well, so 3 Adelaide Crows versus the big 2 for the Saints. There's Lockett and Maynard.
It's interesting looking at the Adelaide Crows there in front and looking back at the 2 St Kilda forwards.
McAdam's kick, a good one right there to the square, but behind. Good distance, not quite the accuracy. 4 points to McAdam. I've got him down for 17-9 to 2-7.
Right, 4 points.
And he kicked badly last week against Carlton too. He missed a couple of sitters. He would have made it
1-4 he kicked last week.
Yes, well, that's not good kicking. Nigel Smart, you're a wealth of information
today,
Don.
I'm working with Bruce McAvaney, so something's got to rub off.
Boy, I'm glad you came today. The ball at half back. Bickley. But plenty of good sides, better sides than the Adelaide Crows have come here over the years, Bruce, and been towed up by the Saints, even when the Saints didn't have good sides. They often would beat top teams down here. Here's a quick kick to centre wing. Taken by Pekin. And the mark taken by Micken. He's having a good day. Bickley, receives it back. Bickley over the top. McGuinness has been quiet. Caught. And that could be holding the ball. In fact, it was a throw, the umpire said. Free kick going the way of the Saints. And Tony McGuinness, after BOG last week, not doing well today. Jason Daniels to half-forward. Low. What a strong grab.
They say he's got the best hands in the AFL. Maybe Kernahan the only one that can go with him. Lockett shoves and pushes, gets away with it. Morris. And free kick to Adelaide.
And Murphy's going off.
Murphy coming off and Jamison Ondon.
Yep.
There were 2 players that between them kicked 11 goals last Sunday night against Footscray. So 6 days has made an enormous difference. Good mark in the front spot by Marshall. Just wonder about McGuinness, Don. He just lacks that spark.
Well, they're changing him out of the forward pocket, Bruce, and Craven's doing particularly well on him, and then he's got Cummings when he goes down there.
Just wonder if he's fully fit. Hart to full forward. Hodges finally. Nope, still not. Frawley, what a job he's done. Sweeping handball by Muller, good to Grant. And again the Saints able to rebound. Morris the target. Micken getting back to help. McDermott caught. Now Smart. Hodges again calls for it. Again outnumbered. Frawley gives him a shove. Kitchke. Former double blue in Adelaide. Couple of bouncers. Grant does the shepherding. Still Kitchke. A lumbering soldier as he kicks it to half forward. Morris. Well, it was either Morris or Lowe.
Nobody went with him.
Now Lockett gives him a lead. Morris kicks it to him. And Big Tony does the job again. Well, he's about 3 or 4 inches taller than Maynard.
Sensational to watch, Don, isn't it?
It's just it is amazing, Peter. Look at him. I look back each time he goes for one of those marks, Peter. I go back to last year where he put his ankle underneath him, turned his ankle, and you always got that worry, haven't you?
Well, he's got such a big frame up top, but he's the best full forward I've seen play the game. Lockett, I've seen him down here a few times. Take outsides apart on his own. Absolutely win it off his own boot.
It's a big statement. You played in the same time as Wade and Hudson.
Well, if this man hadn't have copped injuries, he could have been anything.
Well, I'm saying he's better than Dunstall. Drop punt by Lockett, misses. Kick 10 still. And 17-10 to 2-7. Still, you should know what you're talking about. Well, you kicked a few yourself.
Well, I saw him 2 years ago. I made that statement in potential. Certainly in potential, he's the best full forward I've ever seen. And when a full forward can single-handedly win games, I mean, he's a champion. And that's what I think Lockett is. There's Micken again. He is the Crows' best player by a mile. And Marshall hasn't let them down either. He's tried hard.
This fellow's done well too.
He has. Sean Ralph Smith.
Played a lot of games in the reserves at Hawthorn. Just couldn't get into that senior side.
The funny thing is Sean Ralph Smith took the mark and they're all hooting Denny Hughes. Oh, there's Morris flying high. And it's a free kick against Morris for that. Bartlett will take it at half back. Nice kick to the half-forward line over the back. It's all St Kilda reading the play. Cummings around the corner. He's found Winmar. Winmar can give it over to Harvey. Oh, they've created the loose man here. Danger for Adelaide. One bounce. Will he go again? No, he elects to kick it to Lockett. Here he comes. But he's got a teammate in front of McAdam.
Well, he could have spotted Rice. Rice made a better lead. But he decided to go against that and put it into Lockett. I think he would have been better advised to put it to the right instead of centering it because Rice was out by himself.
Gilbert McAdam, after a great game against Carlton last week, has had 17 kicks already, he is a great player too. Gilbert McAdam from directly in front. Oh, beautiful looking kick. Look at that. Another one. McAdam kicks his first. 18 goals, 10 for the Saints. Adelaide 2-7.
I like the way this guy kicks the goal. Reminds me very much of Michael Moncrief, who had a very classical style in kicking for goal. Watch the way he keeps his head over the ball, stays down over it.
(118 to 19) at Moorabbin. Morris to Coughlin. A daisy cutter. Lockett half volley. Caught by Maynard. Rice.
Oh, don't tell me.
Just a behind that time. It would have brought the stand down.
Well, that looked like a boomerang in flight the way that was coming back, didn't it?
Well, it was.
But it was a boomerang, Don.
Well, it was. It was turning.
18-11 to 2-7. You got enough. I'm glad he came today, Peter. Kick by Smart. Looks for Micken, and Morris takes a great mark.
Well, Russell Morris is in sensational form at the moment. I saw him last week. 12 marks he's taken up on the forward line. There's Lowe. He's underneath that one, the mark taken by Abernathy. He played a great game last week on Stephen Kernahan in a losing side.
Don't tell me he's going to mark it again.
No, it's kicked off the ground by Nathan Burke. This is Peakin. Now, let's see if Lockett leads. Now, he's gone back, Lockett, here. Here's Micken. Oh, what a game by Micken. Terrific display by Mark Micken under extreme pressure. Maynard.
Muller's injured too, Peter.
This is Nigel Smart. Oh, he ran a long way. Oh, yes. He was looking at his forwards. No one was moving. Now they've lost it to Winmar. Winmar will set it up to the forwards. There's the kick. He's missed to the right. So they're not going Lockett conscious, really, are they?
No, good kick by Winmar, just missing. 18-12, 2-7. 30 shots to 9. You'd have to seriously think that St Kilda's a final 6 team after this. There's Corns and Michael Taylor and Neil Curley in the background looking on. And it's going to be a pretty ordinary hour back on the flight tonight. Short kick to Bickley. Bickley from half-back. Kitchke in the front spot. Klug outnumbered. Muller with him, who Don said a moment ago, not moving 100%. Morris, who's continuing to grow in stature as this game goes on. Burke. Rice outnumbered. Smart, good attempt at the back, not paid. Coughlin still with Rice and Lee. McAdam still now Coughlin. Here's another chance. Coughlin in the pocket, turns round, bangs at a goal and misses. And suddenly the Saints with an inaccurate period at 18-13 to 2-7. So the margin is 17 goals.
Well, there'll be a lot of sides fighting for that final 6, a lot of even sides this year, and this percentage will certainly help the Saints. There's Micken again. Another mark, tremendous.
14 or 15 marks he's taken.
Oh, that's a great effort. McGuinness with a hand pass over to Marshall. Marshall to half-forward. Their field kicking the Crows has been terrible. That was Muller. Nathan Burke, very, very clever. Daniels dummies the hand pass, then gives it straight to Jamison. He finds Tregenza, who's been quiet. There's a tackle laid on Cummings. Pekin, Daniels. Daniels a wobbly one to fall forward. Lockett takes front position, is grabbed. Couldn't hold the mark. It should be tapped through. No, he couldn't get his hand to it. There's Lowe. And eventually it's forced to the line, but the Adelaide player...
Now that's interesting because Hayden Kennedy was on the right side of Lockett and Maynard, and you could see the left hand of Maynard around Lockett, and he was not penalised. We'll go down to Max Stevens on the boundary line. Max?
Contrary to what I said at half-time, Andrew Jarman is injured, a shoulder injury, the same shoulder that gave him trouble earlier this year when he was forced not to play against the West Coast Eagles. He'll only return if really needed, and one trainer told me he could be out for a few weeks. Michael Murphy also off with an injured ankle.
Thanks for that, Max. Jamison misses Hughes. It's pretty obvious that something was wrong with Jarman, so it's bad news for Adelaide. Good handle by Daniels to Cummings to Craven. 1-2. Lockett on a lead. Too high the kick. Maynard, low, Bartlett to Lee, to McDermott. Short to Abernethy. In fact, a bit long for Abernethy in the end. Morris against Tregenza, and that's symbolic of Adelaide today, where they had an opportunity to set something up, and the kick by McDermott was too strong and gave Abernethy very little chance.
Well, the way Morris is playing, I wonder if Hawthorn a little bit premature in getting rid of him. There's Tregenza. Well, he's playing so well, and he's hardly played a bad game all year, Russell Morris. Kitchke with half-forward, the umpire calling play on. Oh, he dodges around quite easily, Damien Kitchke onto the left foot, up to half-forward where the mark has been taken by Lee, and he's battling hard. Lee to the half-back line, Tregenza, caught, drops it. Russell Morris again on the left foot, brings it back to the pocket. Lockett again, has it thumped away. He must be getting tired now. Craven has been great. Caught, gets his boot the ball, low at the back. Here's the dangerous McAdam. McAdam hooks it back at goal. And I think he might have missed. He has. Just all you have to do down there is rely on the crowd to tell you that, Bruce.
1-5 to McAdam, 18-14 to 2-7. 122 to 19. Lee short to Maynard. Winmar tried to cut it off, couldn't. Back to Lee, should give it to Bartlett, he does. At half-back he's got Filkey inside. Goes over the top of Lowe, now Filkey. He's had some touches, but geez, waste the footy today. That's a better kick. Hughes tried to tap it on. Muller. He's another Carlton Muller doing well. Marshall's handball, good to Bickley. Jamison on a wide leg. Grant after him. Jamison with McGuinness inside. McGuinness normally a thumping kick. That one okay to the goal square. Klug getting back. Muller in the front spot. Chance for Bickley. Still with Bickley. Good tackle on him by Ralph Smith. Chance for Klug. Snaps across the face of goal and kicks it out of bounds.
The Crows battling hard. Certainly played a lot better in this quarter, but they've fallen down badly when they do get it to the forward line. That Saints defence has been great. Very strong players there in defence. Now how will the umpires see that? Holding the ball against the Crows. It'll be a St Kilda free kick, and who'll unravel himself and take it? It's David Grant. Very good player, this man Grant. He runs across the face. He's got a loose man out wide in Sean Ralph Smith. He's got him, former Hawthorn player, to centre wing. Mickey Winmar in front, taps it down. Well played by Filkey, ridden into the ground. And it will be a free kick to Brantley Filkey on centre wing. And a 50-metre penalty as well. 15 kicks to Filkey. And when he went to Collingwood, he wore the number of a great Collingwood player, Don.
Number 6, Peter McKenna.
Thank you. Got a good straight man here, haven't I?
Just feed him the lines, Macca.
Brent Filkey didn't really show his best at Collingwood, actually. Now the short one is on. That's good play to Lindsay. Lindsay will kick from 50 metres, so we'll take a good kick from there. As the time clock winds down, just under a minute of play left in this third quarter. Lindsay won't quite make the distance. They need a few players flying high for that one. Danny Hughes races back after it, but it beats him over the line.
Saints have kicked 4-7 to 1 goal by Adelaide in this quarter, so they've had 11 shots to 1. Klug at the back, Bickley, Hart, Harvey caught, Rice, and St Kilda free kick.
Scott Hodges hasn't touched the ball today. You know that, Bruce?
I asked him a few minutes ago if he'd had a kick. Didn't think he would have.
But not a handball either.
Here's Grant. Low the target. Less than 10 seconds now remaining in this third quarter. Filkey chips it to Hughes. Well, I don't know why he's getting the raspberries. He was on the receiving end of Lockett. His kick across the ground to Bickley as the siren will go now. Right on cue. And Bickley to have a shot from 55 metres out. Mark Bickley, who's kicked 3 points.
Actually, he should have been paid a 50-metre penalty because Jason Daniels went across the line.
Would have helped him a bit, Don. Torpedo punt. He's kicked it about 35 metres. So at three-quarter time, the Saints maintain their domination over the Crows. They lead 18-14 to 2-7.
His cup.
Are you around Mr. Reed? I'm going to get bugs.
So quarter by quarter, brief summary, and three quarters from the others, mate.
Stephen Newport's done all right today.
He's a good checker, isn't he? He's taken that other bloke out of the game, Jarman. Hey.
Oh, don't get carried away. There's only one.
You reckon they're a good song, St Kilda?
No.
Lockie, can I just check with you, mate? Quarter by quarters, brief summary for the guys, and then the other scores. Do we use mix? Okay, do we use mix here at all? Mate, Max Stevens.
Well, he's come all the way from Adelaide, Rocky. Why don't you... It's cost them $1,000 to get him over here and you used him twice. Geez, you're going to get a Memo. Can you bring this up with a receiver on Monday, Bruce?
I bet.
Are you going up there?
No, he's going to Footscray.
I've had to put up with him for 10 bloody years. Thank you, Rocky.
Rocky's talking to us, Shawnee. He's telling Scotty off. High excitement at Moorabbin, boys.
I'm worried about my bet with Hawthorn.
I'm worried about mine 200 on Carlton. They got no hope.
Carlton to knock who are Essendon off?
Did you bet Carlton? I like Essendon.
Yeah, they're 5 in front of them.
But I've got Hawthorn to the 5 at big bet.
I was right the other day.
Yeah, but they need Dermott back in and Hall.
They're in trouble. They haven't played anyone.
Yeah, they're in a bit of trouble. Yeah, like the first time I've ever thought so. They've got a hard run coming up too.
That's what I said. They haven't played anyone yet.
Mind you, they're also capable of putting a few together.
Yeah.
Did you go to the 200 Club dinner, Pete?
Yeah.
Peter? Did you go to
Saints kick 4-7 to Adelaide, 1 goal in the third quarter, and they lead 122 to 19. Lockett's got 10. It's 18-14 to 2-7. As Ken Sheldon must be holding back the smiles at the moment, and I guess his philosophy at three-quarter time would be to maintain concentration and to go right onto it. Okay, let's have a look at the other matches in Melbourne. And West Coast, what price West Coast for the premiership? 16-14 to Hawthorn, 7-9, 110 to 51. Essendon lead 14-7 to Carlton, 8-12 by 31. And Brisbane still in front of the D's at the MCG. Brisbane lead Melbourne 14-9 to 12-13. So West Coast and Essendon look like they're going to set up a mega match next Saturday at Windy Hill. Max Stevens has been down listening to the St Kilda coach Ken Sheldon and also to Graham Corns. Max, what have you got to report for us, mate?
Well, Bruce, Graham Corns actually has run out of things to say. I feel sorry for the guy. I mean, when you look at the scoreboard, that says it all. Just updating the injury situation, Andrew Jarman, he won't take any further part in the game with that shoulder injury that stopped him playing against the West Coast Eagles. Michael Murphy, he'll be lucky to come back onto the ground with an ankle injury. Ken Sheldon, well, Ken, as you said, he's smiling and he's told his boys just settle down and let's push it for 30 more minutes.
Thanks for that, Max Stevens, Don Scott and Peter McKenna to tell us what's happened in the first three quarters.
Well, it's been all St Kilda, Peter, in a couple of words.
It's been very disappointing. I think the sad part about it was so early in the game that the Adelaide Crows just did not put in hard enough at those centre bounces around that centre square area. St Kilda worked hard and the Adelaide Crows didn't, and you can't afford that against the side like
St Kilda. It's like a cancer, isn't it, Peter? If you don't go hard for the ball, it just goes right through, as you say, right through the side. And you've just got, there is no other thing in football but just go and get the ball, number one, and then do something with it. And St Kilda have done the first thing, was to get the ball, and you know, they've just played catch-up football ever since, the Crows, and 19 points is really a disgraceful effort.
122 to 19, 18 to 2. Lockett with 10, 9 to half time. Kitschke with the tap. Daniels off the ground. McDermott leads in the race. Burke. Well snared by Tregenza. Little give by Lindsay was okay to Tregenza. To half forward, Jamison playing without confidence. Doesn't look the same player. That 50 metres against Hart. Got caught there.
He went across the line. Now that's what happened earlier when Bickley had that shot for goal. It was Daniels who went across the mark, just the same there. He should have been given 50, Bickley.
Cummings roped him in there. It's happening a lot these days with the defenders running across in front, hoping the forwards will follow them.
The kick to half forward, low at the back. Here's Bartlett. Shuffled back towards the half-back line. That was Scott Lee. Klug has it thumped the ground. There's Harvey. Oh, clever little soccer kick. That might come off to Ralph Smith, who's worked very, very hard. On it comes to Harvey. Oh, he ran a long way onto the left foot to the half-forward line, and Frankie Coughlin. Coughlin versus McDermott. Oh, Coughlin might have been grabbed then. Tries to get in a hand pass. Still battling away. Here's Tregenza. Can't pick it up. Oh, Bickley ran into a brick wall. Here's Russell Morris, been a great player. Threw that out. Oh, right it comes to McAdam. That was from Pekin, and McAdam set sail for home and has missed, but a dead set throw out of that pack.
It was a questionable one by Pekin as well.
Well, since half-time, the Crows have played a lot better, but damage had been done in the first half. 18-15 plays 2-7, and there's McAdam and Abernathy having a bit of a dust-up.
1-6 to McAdam too, Peter.
He's smart after the kick in from Lee. Up almost to centre wing. Bartlett in the front spot. Spoiled by Muller. Good football. Peeking to Winmar. Winmar squeezes one back towards Lowe. Lowe tries to give to Harvey, and he does. And Harvey from 30 metres with a drop punch straight through. 19-15 to 2-7. And Harvey's kicked his first.
Well, it really wasn't a good third quarter by St Kilda. They kicked 4-7. 11 shots for goal, only 4 goals coming, and they really did control play in that third quarter. They slowed down, and they've just got to lift their work rate just a little bit and capitalise on the scoreboard.
Well, the avalanche continues. That was Pekin getting it to the half-forward line. Abernathy taken the mark, and now he kicks wide. Oh, Danny Hughes has got a couple to beat. Ralph Smith's one of them, and it's been easy to play well today, but Sean Ralph Smith certainly has. That was Nathan Burke to Daniels, back to Ralph Smith. Now Harvey pushed in the back. Bickley to Klug. Klug setting up goal. Hodges still isn't going to get a kick here. Oh, Frawley, as easy as you like to Grant. Grant can give it back to Frawley, though he elects to kick it instead. Oh, Markle free kick.
Mark.
Brilliantly done, Winmar. On to Danny Frawley, playing his 150th game, the captain, and hasn't played many bad ones in that 150 either. Bartlett breaks the tackle to centre wing. No mark. Shuffled on by Hodges. Bickley tackled hard. Here's Cummings, and the umpire says a free kick to Bickley.
In the centre square. Klug's in the full forward spot, gives the lead. Muller goes early. Klug stood his ground. Tackle on him by Ralph Smith. Hart paddles it out to Hughes. Hart's handball only as far as Grant. Again, this mean St Kilda defence. I'll be pretty pleased when they come off today if only 2 or 3 goals have been kicked against them. McDermott, no free kick. Tregenza has mishandled a lot today. And Daniels with him. And it'll be a throw in front of the adoring St Kilda crowd. They've loved what they've seen today. Hughes and Kitschke. Kitschke at the back. Tregenza. Marshall goes for a Burke. Goes on top of it. McGuinness, who's been very quiet. Yes, Craven, brilliant there. Winmar to Harvey with pace. A bounce. Rice is the target. Kicks it out in front of him. Rice with high skills. Now Lockett leads. Will he kick it down his throat or go for goal? Goes for goal and misses. Kicks a point. Well, that was another 9-9 there, Don, if he wanted.
What did he use, a 3, Bruce?
Yeah, and just mishit it, didn't he? Just hooked it a bit.
Well, I think he could have given that one to Lockett, actually. The lead was good.
Kitschke's gone off for the Saints.
Maynard, the half-back line. Harvey, Pekin, the leader's on to Lockett. Here he comes. Great lead, great pass.
Well, he's only kicked one, Peter, since half-time, Tony Lockett.
And it was off the ground, but he's taken 13 marks in a magnificent display. Have a look at this pass.
1-1 since half-time.
Well, he's had 16 kicks. He's kicking for goal number 11. His goal in the third quarter was off the ground from about 2 inches out. But his first half was sensational and missed a couple as well. And the big fella's back in town. He's a great player. Takes plenty of time over his kick. There's the drop punt. He hooked it slightly. And he has missed to the left. He's not happy with himself. He's kicked 10 and he wants to get a few more.
What got him down for, Don? I got him for 10-5.
10-5, Bruce. 10-5.
Well, it's understandable, not having the match practice or the shooting for goal, so he'll take a while to get back into it.
Well, Lee takes on Lockett. Lockett tried to run him down to centre wing.
I hope to see when he actually does come back into it.
I'm talking
Peter.
about kicking for goal.
Oh, I see.
10 every week would be handy, wouldn't it? Vidovic, that'll make 220 for the year. Short, Morris. McDermott tries to half volley. Harvey holds him up. Marshall. Morris, who's been magnificent today, high in St Kilda's best. McDermott to Lindsay from half back. and goes towards Klug. Muller in the front spot.
Well, Ian Muller's held his place in the St Kilda side.
Had a wretched one with injuries over the years since coming from Carlton.
Knee operation and discarded by Carlton, as Don said, as the ball is forced over the line again. But since half-time, well before half-time, Sparks gone right out of this game. The game was won long time ago, probably in the first 5 minutes, as a matter of fact. Disappointing for the Crows. McDermott, and we've got problems with Chris McDermott. He is really not firing up. Hart, a short one, finds Filkey. Filkey will kick from, well, he's had 17 kicks, Grant Filkey. Kick from 49 metres. There's the drop punt right out to the pocket. Klug has it pumped away. It's still in play, actually. Danny Hughes takes it over the line, and it will be a throw-in.
131-19. Hughes, who was involved in that incident with Lockett in the second quarter, when tempers and tension were high here. Vidovic, and again another throw in. But as Peter McKenna said a moment ago, the spark's gone. The fuse was ignited a long time ago, and they're really just playing it out now with about 20 minutes remaining, including time on to come. Ralph Smith in this mean St Kilda defence, just giving away 19 points well into the final quarter.
Well, this is the most talent they've had at St Kilda for many years.
Well, it might be their big chance. Here's McGuinness caught. Craven. They found a rover in this fellow. Craven to Morris. And they might have found a centre-half forward in this guy as well. Confidence is sky high. It took him a long time to get over that bump in Brisbane that day, and he might be well and truly back. No free kick. There'll be a throw-in on centre wing. Marshall and Pekin. Good contest there.
They're winning by, about 19-20 goals, and the St Kilda supporters still want free kicks for just about anything. Oh, look at the show of strength there. Micken versus Lowe. Oh, that's holding the ball. No. McDermott. Harvey. Oh, well done by Harvey. And not being able to get away with it was Coughlin. And the crowd are making plenty of noise. Our commentary area, right in the one-eyed section.
They really should penalise these two, Ruckman. They were holding before, pushing. They don't use their bodies. Now that's a better contest.
Over the back is Bartlett. Oh, that's holding it. Oh, lucky to get away with that. Craven, a quick kick to half-forward Abernathy. Oh, well done. Took a good mark on McAdam there.
It's got Filkey wide. This will be his 18th kick. Stephen Newport about to come on for St Kilda. Well, he gives the handball up, Filkey, to Lee. Pekin coming off. Lee's kick to centre-half forward. Hughes with a juggled mark, not paid. Frawley over the top. Free kick to Hughes. Too high. Seventh kick coming up, and you can see Frawley right over the top. Hasn't kicked a lot of goals in AFL, 23 to be exact. This is his 129th game. Nearly all of Danny's football at fullback for Melbourne. Drop punt. Good kick, and he's kicked it. So the Crows get their third. 19-17 to 3-7.
Well, it's a long time coming. Hughes starting on interchange. He was brought on because Smart couldn't hold Lockett early in the game. And then Hughes, unfortunately, copped Lockett when he was in full cry. They made a change, got him up to the forward line. He has worked particularly hard on that forward line, Hughes. He's got a lot of courage. He's prepared to put his body in.
Micken. Actually missed the hit out. It was tapped over the back by Dean Rice. Morris onto Coughlin. Coughlin on the left foot looking for Lowe. Lowe comes out in front and gets in a quick hand pass. Goes to get it again. He's got Harvey in support. Also there was Coughlin. Here's McAdam. Oh, beautifully to Craven. The little fella trying to get round to get a kick
Dropping
in.
it.
Umpire calls play on. The players crashing after. Well done by Daniels. On to McAdam. He's bumped off the ball. Marshall, top one. Or the St Kilda player down. I think it's Winmar.
That was pretty crude by Winmar.
Well, he went in to lay the tackle and has hurt himself, and he's down. This is Tregenza to McDermott. McDermott to the half-forward line. Grant at the back. Thumps it away. He's a good player, David Grant. Very, very good player. And kicks it and puts it over the line.
Could have been on the full, actually. There's Mickey Winmar. He seems to be all right. Just a little sore.
Klug and Vidovic. Rice with a thumping torpedo punt. Low, outnumbered there. McAdam for the spoils. Winmar, if he's fit enough now. Harvey couldn't quite get it to Winmar. Still Harvey. Goes for goal and puts it through. Another one. Number 20 for the Saints, and Robert Harvey coming home with a rush with his second goal in this last quarter.
We had 30 possessions last week, Harvey. 17-13. This game becoming rather boring now. A lot of interest in the first half on what Tony Lockett would do, but Lockett's gone out of the game. Other players are starting to kick goals. In fact, St Kilda really have slowed down since half-time. To half-time, he kicked 91 points.
19 kicks to Robert Harvey as the Saints go forward again through Craven. A wobbly one. Oh, they've got to wait underneath it. Abernathy held his ground. That was a good mark. Bruce Abernathy has had 13 kicks, 28 years of age, had stints at North Melbourne. He was an exciting player when he came to North. Then he went to Collingwood, now back in Adelaide. Scott Hodges, oh, he still hasn't got his, well, he got his first touch, but it's not a mark or a kick or a handball as the kick from McGuinness comes to half forward. Ralph Smith. Now it's Nathan Burke. Burke to the half back line. Oh, the mark is dropped down there by Marshall. Grabbed by Bickley. Bickley back to Marshall. Marshall at half forward. Sets it up for his forwards to take a mark. Kluger's there. Bumped away to Muller. Muller to the half back line. It's all St Kilda. Hand pass comes back to Dean Rice. That was from Coughlin. That's Cummings to the half-forward line. Awesome courage shown there. Oh, Lockett. The push in the back. The umpire has paid to Maynard. It was a little bit high, that tackle.
Short to Lee. At half-back, good kick to Klug. Target Marshall in the centre square. Jamison wide for him. He's not going to get that far. Poor kick by Marshall. Cummings, who's been pretty impressive. Newport's first touch, poor kick, Low and Micken. Now Bartlett from half-back. Good kick to McDermott. Can they set something up here? Klug runs through him. Tregenza goes towards Klug in the pocket. Grant loves these positions where he can come and fly and then dump it into about the 15th row in the terraces.
Was that deliberate, was it, Bruce?
Well, it was.
Well, actually, believe it or not, at times that is, but take a game umpire.
Well, can I pose a question? Has Rodney Maynard done particularly well in the second half because he's kept Lockett to 1-1,
right.
Or is it the fact that Lockett?
I don't think the game's actually gone Lockett's way. He hasn't really, although the ball's going down there, a lot of the players have had shots from the 30 to 40 metre mark. But Maynard, give him his due, he does stick close and works hard, and he's done a very good job.
Bottom line's got to be that Lockett's had fewer opportunities because Maynard hasn't beaten him in many one-on-one contests.
No, that's exactly right. So the ball just hasn't been going Lockett's way.
Well, here's Muller from half-back. Took straight to Abernathy, and Abernathy marks. On he goes to Bartlett. Bartlett to the half-forward line. Denny Hughes at the back. Can't mark it. It's tapped on to Frawley. Frawley crashes his way through. What a good player he's been for the Saints.
Now, is that deliberate?
No.
But he went straight for the boundary line.
Well, a clever little kick. He might have been hoping to bounce in, Don, maybe.
Do you think so, Peter?
Well, it was a good defensive kick anyway.
Klug and Vidovic. Filkey. Burke. One of a number of good players.
He's a good player. They've got a great back line.
Hate to be having to pick 1, 2, 3 for the Saints. Be a tough job.
I've got to do it.
Craven. Too far for Newport. Micken to Filkey. Now Hughes the target. Grant at the back. Muller. Craven. Good kick to Winmar by Craven. Great handball to Rice. Now Lockett on a lead. Not a good kick though, and that's been probably Lockett's frustration in the second half as the ball hasn't got to him like it did in the first.
That's right. And also, Lockett would be feeling the pinch. Probably not leading as much. Scott Lee has battled hard in a losing side. It's not easy to play in the back pocket of the ball. Been punched down time and time again. Cummings has been most
He's not
impressive.
bad, is he, Cummings? He's good on both sides of his body. That was a left foot kick, and he's delivered the ball well on the right side as well.
Daniels, or poor kick. McGuinness. Now it's Bickley to Marshall. Marshall up to the forward line. Hughes flies. Taking a nice strong mark is Sean Ralph Smith.
Chips it to Burke at centre half back. Sweeps it back to Ralph Smith. Well, we've talked about his improvement. Here's Newport. Now Harvey. St Kilda players everywhere on their own. He's got Morris alone at centre half forward. McDermott late. Morris had to sit underneath it for a fair while. McDermott to Micken to Lee. Went without it.
Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa. What about that one? Whoa. A tunnel ball throw. What a ripper.
Well, something like Joe Montana gets those every week playing for the 49ers.
Have a look at this. You couldn't believe this unless you saw it. No, you didn't see it.
Well, you wouldn't have believed it anyway, Don. Coughlin from 30 metres out after a horrible mistake by Lee. And Frankie for his first. And St Kilda's 21st. Drop punt, and it's through. Another one. So the Saints have got 21 of them, and Coughlin gets his first. 143 to 25. The margin 18 goals, 10.
Well, they have slowed down in the second half. 52 points they've kicked. Up till the half time, they kicked 91 St Kilda, and they were really looking good.
Well, Adelaide hasn't accelerated too much. They
no, well, I don't
13
suppose.
points in the first half and 12 in the second.
Well, look at that scoreline. 21-17 to 3-7. There's Vidovic is beaten by Micken. Oh, he copped one. He got the boots into the groin area too, Mark Micken. He's down. Centre wing is Nathan Burke. And Don, that was one of your old tactics at the centre bounce. The ruckman, they go in now with those boots out, don't they?
What are you inferring?
Well, that's what he copped. He copped one in the groin.
Well, if you play in that
groin.
position, that's what's going to happen.
Well, that time they might have to wear the old cricket protectors, I think. The way things are going at the centre bounces on fair income too.
You would have been right.
Here's the ball on centre. That was Robert Harvey giving in the hand pass to Stephen Newport. Well, he's spent most of the day on the bench. Oh, here's Russell Morris again. Well, has he had a picnic? Now, one out down there is Lockett. If he kicks it now, he's waiting a little bit too long. 14 marks. Now Lockett at the back. Up he goes. Bumped off the ball. Frankie Coughlin lies on top of it. Tries to get out to Lockett. Quick kick to low, but it eludes his outstretched hands and through for a behind. So Lockett for the day has kicked 10, is it 10-6?
10-6.
10 goals 6 to Tony Lockett. A great return.
Scott Lee. Nigel Smart, the target.
Oh, well done, Lowe.
Maynard. To Filkey, who I think's now had 19 kicks. To centre half forward, make that 20. Thanks, Tom. Burke from centre half back. Thumps it down to Harvey. Here's a space here. They've got some chances now. Winmar's got Lockett in the goal square. He's going to kick it to him. And the big boy wouldn't miss that one. Oh, that was coming a long way out, wasn't it? Winmar sized that up beautifully.
Yeah, it was a good kick by Winmar. And Scott Lee, who is in front, is just no match. Watch this. Just a mismatch in height. And Lockett had the sit.
14 marks, Bruce.
Well, it's been a remarkable performance.
Well, if he kicks this, he goes up with Gordon Coventry, Bill Toomey and Michael Roach, who have all kicked 11 in this round.
Well, he'll kick it, Don.
Some famous names there.
Straight through, mate. There's his 11. 22-18 to 3-7.
That's his second goal. for the half, Tony Lockett. Bill Toomey, 1950, kicked 11 against Footscray. He played for Collingwood. Michael Roach, Richmond, also against Footscray in 1980. And Gordon Coventry, a Collingwood forward, probably the greatest full forward at Collingwood, against St Kilda in 1927.
Well, 11 goals to Tony Lockett. Great performance. But a great performance by St Kilda all round. It's going to take a very good side to beat St Kilda. Now they're back at full strength. Here's one of them too. Oh, has he made a difference? David Grant. Tremendous exhibition. Frankie Coughlin got underneath that one. Smart. Gets it to Bickley. Then on to Lindsay. Marshall to the half-forward line. The mark has been taken by Klug. Now Klug will kick from 35. Almost directly in front. Klug has taken 7 marks. That's a good strong one. And he's had 10 kicks. Always battles hard, John Klug. Always looks slow, but tends to get in the right position at the right time. John Klug kicks a goal. Beautiful kick right through the middle. That's his first. And the Adelaide Crows have kicked their fourth. 4-7 to 22-18.
Had a good week last week. 3 goals too, Klug. Centre half forward. There he is, getting in front of, or just coming over the top of Muller. And a good kick.
150 to 31, 119-point margin. The Saints lead by 18 goals 9. After Klug kicks Adelaide's fourth. Vidovic and Micken. McGuinness, high tackle.
Oh, necked. Hadn't made a mistake up till 3/4 time. Stephen Newport's made 2 since, in this last quarter.
Pretty hard when you're sitting on the bench, Don, to make a mistake. McGuinness to Abernethy. To half forward. Hughes, good mark taken by Ralph Smith to Burke. Well, we talked about Russell Jeffrey and a couple of players that will try and get back in. It's going to be hard to force your way into the St Kilda side for a few weeks. Morris, back to Newport. Lowe and Bartlett. Rice. Lindsay with him. And Abernethy, who's had a good last quarter, Bruce Abernethy. Back to Filkey. He's got Bickley running inside, outside of him. He'll use him now. Hughes very short. Bickley takes Burke on, gets caught. And that's really been the story of the day. The St Kilda tackling's been wonderful. And Cummings, if he's wasted a kick, I haven't seen it. To Coughlin. To Daniels. Where's Big Tony? He's short.
Drop it short.
Well, Daniels will go for goal. Drop punt. And he puts it through. It's another one. 23 of them. Well, Don, they're finishing it off now, the Saints.
Well, they're starting to slip it up into third against Bruce, but Daniels on that occasion had Lockett out in front. He could have chipped it across here because Lockett was on a good lead. Neglected the lead, Daniels, and really he had to make amends for it, and he did in the right way, and that was on the scoreboard with a goal.
Brilliant display this by the Saints. Just under 4 minutes of play left. All interest now to see how many Lockett will end up with. There's Craven. Morris has been great at half forward. Harvey looking for Daniels. On to Newport. The leader's on. Lockett. Yes, easy as you like. Maynard has given up the ghost, I think, at this stage. That's twice Maynard's just waited back, but I don't blame him in a way because he had no chance. Lockett said, thank you very much for goal number 12 coming up.
Well, number 14, 14 goals have been kicked, and that was by a grateful forward, John Coleman.
I thought you were going to tell me Lockett had kicked 14 for a minute, Don, but this is Lockett going for goal number 12 in a magnificent display of full forward work. Coming back after a long way off. Oh, did he sneak it in for a goal? Let's have a look. Yes! 12 goals to the St Kilda champ. 24-18 the Saints. Adelaide 4-7.
Well, it was unselfish play by Newport. He was on his left foot. It wasn't a good pass, although it was out in front. Here it is. But the ball didn't come off the boot in the way Newport would have liked it. But still, they're not spinning in the best way, but Lockett in front, chipped it across. Well done, Newport.
162 to 31. They're celebrating in the terraces here. Gee, Muller and Lindsay. It was a sickening blow, wasn't it? It was a chilling
and he's not too good either. He's back in the centre of the ground. There he is. I think he'll get to his feet. He's copped a couple of bad ones today.
Perfectly fair. I mean, they both had their eye on the footy.
He's all right, which is good to see.
But the celebration will be long and hard at Moorabbin tonight. Marshall's quick kick. Hart and also Cummings. Cummings, who's been terrific. Here's McGuinness, who's been very quiet. Round his body, Jamison. Well, he was taking those the other night. Grant's been magnificent.
Fantastic.
But, gee, he's had some mates. Daniels runs it over the line.
His use of the body then, Grant, when he was out of position, was just sensational stuff.
Tregenza and Daniels. But you wouldn't have to be Einstein to work out whose name will be on everyone's lips in St Kilda tonight. They'll be Lockett crazy. Hodges taps it on. McDermott from 60 metres. Good kick. The Crows with a chance here. Hughes at the back. But again, Grant able to get in there. Muller, quick recovery after being flattened a moment ago. Cummings. His kicking's been magnificent. This time he singles out Morris and he finds him.
Well, Morris has nearly been best man in the ground, really. He's taken 15 marks. Low. Was shoved out of it. A hand pass was from Scott Lee. McDermott, cop one across the ear. Daniels, marks, centre wing. Time clock ticking down. Can Lockett get another one? Crawley, wide. McAdam, leading in the race. He's got Abernathy to beat. The 2 number 5 still going on with a good play. Abernathy. Oh, I don't know. I think
he was held. His arm was held by Abernathy.
Well, I thought Abernathy did very, very well to keep that ball underneath then. It was a good effort.
It's a good contest between two highly skilled players. Abernathy having a good last quarter. McAdams had a terrific match. Filkey's had a lot of kicks. This one to Klug. Muller at the back. Rice, 21 kicks to Filkey. And both Rice and Klug on it as we're into the last 45 seconds of what's been a one-sided but quite remarkable game. Lockett with 12 goals, 6. Klug, Lindsay, Marshall. So 30 seconds to go. Hughes gets into the front spot. Tapped on by Bickley. Daniels caught. Free kick to Daniels in the back. Allowed to play on. I guess the one thing that would finish this off would be a Lockett goal in the last 20 seconds. Can it happen? Well, he kicked one in the first minute. Here's Coghlan. Could they get it to him? Is that asking too much? Winmar could be just the man. Lockett on the lead.
Oh,
look at this. Big Tony sets himself, but Bartlett comes in and spoils what would have been a fairy tale ending. Lee, and that's it. It's all over. The Saints by 20 goals, 7. It's 24-18. 162 to 4-7-31. And Peter McKenna, you kicked 16 one day and kicked over 800, I think. But this man has come back to town with a vengeance today.
Well, it's been a fantastic display of the whole St Kilda side. But look at the young supporters out to the big full forward, and great to have such a personality back, a player with enormous ability. So is Nicky Winmar, both champion players in their own right. It is just absolutely tremendous to have both these champion players back in that St Kilda side. Lockett 12 goals, Winmar was great, and look at the adulation of the young Saint fans.
Well, it's got to be one of the great moments in the sport, this. Well, that says it all. And if the Saints are going to challenge for the premiership, this big boy here must stay fit and stay on the field. Because today he has come back in emphatic fashion and he raises his hand and goes down the stadium, and Kenny Sheldon must think, thank God he's back. And back he is with 12 big ones today. So the Saints win at Moorabbin. They win by plenty. 24-18, 162 to Adelaide, 4-7-31. Yes, mate.
What are you doing tonight, Bruce?
No, I'll be right, mate. Okay, intro Don for summary. Commentators match summary, no stats. Okay, mate. I think Melbourne got up and beat Brisbane. Essendon beat Carlton by about 3 goals, and West Coast win. Melbourne won by 2 points.
Who can pick football nowadays? I mean,
who can, Don?
no, well, you can't. And
I can't.
To say St Kilda are going to be a final 6 after Essendon.
Melbourne won by 13 points, yeah. And, gee, West Coast, they're going to be hard to beat, aren't they?
What are you going on?
Got to call the basketball. Glasshouse, Brisbane and Eastside. Got a busy weekend, though.
I would like to see West Side. Give me some tickets, will you?
30 seconds. Two.
6-4 to 2 goals in the last quarter, and Adelaide with just 3 scoring shots after half time, all of them goals, with the Saints by plenty at Moorabbin, 131 points to be exact. 24-18 to 4 goals, 7. Well, Don, not much else happened after half time that didn't happen beforehand. You said St Kilda had a quiet patch in the third quarter. They finished it off very well.
Yes, they did, Bruce. They really didn't go on with it, did they? They kicked 91 odd points in the first half, and you think they would have gone on with the game, but they just couldn't maintain. Lockett only kicked 2 goals after half time, but what a 3, but what a sensational first half of football it was. It was just unbelievable. You had to be here watching it or watching it at home on television to believe what was happening.
Okay, can St Kilda challenge now? Can they challenge West Coast?
I would not get carried away with football the way it's played today. Now, we've just heard that Hawthorn have lost. Now, after last week, you would have thought that Hawthorn would go in today and just completely obliterate the West Coast. You can't pick it because of the way the game's played. Now,
Don, why would you think that? I mean, they beat Fitzroy last start.
Well, they beat Fitzroy, but they did it in such a convincing manner. Now, St Kilda have done it in a convincing manner against Adelaide. Adelaide played quite well last week against Footscray, so I would have said today would have been a good game, and the scores would have been much closer than what they were.
Okay, what about Adelaide's future now? In Melbourne, it doesn't look bright this year.
Well, you can say that, yes, and I've got to agree, but I think it's that travelling syndrome. Okay, the West Coast have overcome it.
1 hour. I hate to be disagreeing, but a 1 hour flight.
Well, I mean, it's a change in routine, and okay, we're sophisticated animals, humans, and we upset the routine, and consequently, that just upsets the approach. Now, it's a common known fact in America that they do travel. I realise it's an hour, but it's an upset to the routine. They'll be very, very strong at home, and they do play well at home.
Well, it was almost as if they were overawed today. The Moorabbin reputation or whatever, I don't know, but St Kilda won every hard ball in the first 10 or 15 minutes.
I think, and Peter made mention of it in the commentary too, that the first couple of minutes, you've really got to set the example in the first couple of minutes. Now, Adelaide did it very well against Hawthorn. The first couple of minutes, they really went in hard for the ball. Today, they didn't. St Kilda took that ascendancy, and consequently, it was like a cancer just spread through the side, and they didn't really have any fellows who were prepared to go and get the hard ball and start and initiate play. But Raps, I think, should go to Micken. I thought he did particularly well. Filkey picked up a lot of kicks. Scott Lee tried hard, and also Klug at centre-half forward tried.
Well, they've got a bit of a problem with Hodges at the moment. I know he's been injured.
No, I would not blame him. I would not blame him because I watched him. He made good leads, but the guys would go for an extra bounce. He was setting up, but they were kind of ignoring him or going for that extra thing. He was trying hard.
Okay, Jarman, the injury's going to be a blow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is going to be an injury because he's a creative player.
Yeah, he's a great playmaker, isn't he?
My word. But Smart, I think, was also a good player after he came back on. They've got some good player. Quiet, wasn't he? He came into it in the second quarter, but Craven manned him up. Didn't tag him, but played man-to-man football, beat him to the ball. That's the way you play football.
Okay, Don, appreciate those thoughts. Alan Johnson's one player that Melbourne still hasn't given up hope on playing for them. He's been a great player over the years, a player who's been injured quite often. He's coaching Old Trinity in the Amateur League at the moment, and one of his great mates, Gerard Healy, caught up with him for this story.
It's a long Well, Jono, from the MCG to Timber Ridge Reserve, it's a pretty big change.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've played one game here and would have been about, I'd say, 100 people here, so the change is quite substantial, but relaxing wise and enjoying it's been great.
How have you found the coaching role? You don't appear to have lost any hair yet.
No, actually somebody asked me how it was going the other day and I said, well, we've only played 2 games, but I can see how a coach can say how long a season can be. There's still 16 games to go for us, and I'm quite enjoying it, but certainly there's a little bit more to it than what I thought in work-wise.
Coping with the players' different levels of dedication and skill must be quite difficult.
Yeah, the first night of official training it was a bit hard because there were a lot of guys that were unable to turn up for various reasons, work functions, parties that were on, or they're going away for a trip for the weekend, so that made it a bit difficult, and those type of excuses I suppose I've got to get to accept.
Any aspirations at an AFL level coaching job?
Oh, Jared, that's for me that's a long way off. I think if I can get through this year and have a reasonably good year this year, I'll be quite happy and I'll look at it from there.
John, it must have been a real temptation when Melbourne began with their overtures not so long ago. What stopped you from returning to the AFL?
I think family life was one, wife and little daughter to consider now, and also the pressures of work and also the pressure of playing at that level. I've been involved for 18 years, certainly not full-time here, but in Perth for 9 and 9 here. After a time of that, it got to me a bit. It wasn't to say that I wasn't enjoying it, because I was. Also the injuries, and I think that speaks for themselves over the last fair few years I've had with hammies and hip type problems. So towards the end of last year I had a severe one, and I didn't think I'd come up, but it's gradually getting better, and I'm sort of pacing myself now and I can get through it.
Jono has obviously made a big impact in a short period of time at his new club.
He's doing a good job. He likes the club, he likes the blokes, and he's enjoying the football. There's no pressure on him.
He's created a great amount of impact to the whole club with enthusiasm. Guys respect him. It's made a bit of a difference.
Would you be surprised to see him back at Melbourne?
I think when I see him at half-time after he's trying to collect his bumps and bruises, I would be surprised to see him back at Melbourne.
Melbourne supporters live in the hope that Jono will one day return to the MCG. But is that view shared by the match committee?
Good players with experience are hard to come by, and while there's still an inkling of Alan Johnson wanting to come back to Melbourne, we'll retain him on our list.
And Jono, any truth in the rumour that has you playing at Melbourne in 1992?
No truth at all, Jared.
Well, look at that, West Coast 21-18 to Hawthorn 8-14. They'll be 6-4 for the flag tonight, West Coast. The Bombers over Carlton 17-13 to 13-16, and the Demons finally against Brisbane 18-18 to 17-11. Well, tomorrow's match is coming up. Just check your local guides for telecast details. But in Sydney, it's Sydney against Geelong, and Footscray up against Richmond at the Western Oval. And as I said, just check your local guides for telecast details. The next Saturday, what a game this will be. Essendon and West Coast at Windy Hill. Two unbeaten sides. It'll be the big match so far of 1991. Hawthorn and Carlton both beaten today at Waverley. A must game for the two of them. Fitzroy and Sydney, a chance here for one of those sides to get something on the board. Melbourne and Footscray. Geelong will play North. That'll be a good game at Cardinia Park. On Sunday, St Kilda will go to Brisbane on a real roll at the Gabba. And Richmond will play Collingwood at the MCG. And Don, probably for Adelaide, not a bad thing that they've got the bye next week. It's been a long build up to their season, and they've hit rock bottom just for the moment.
A couple of interesting games there. We mentioned West Coast and Essendon, but also the Brisbane St Kilda game. It's a danger game for Brisbane, because of the fact they've got to travel, and Brisbane did push Melbourne today for 3 quarters. Melbourne went away in the last quarter. So it's about time Brisbane, things started going their way. So they can do it for a little while, but not the full game.
What about at the top of the table, where Essendon against West Coast? Remember when West Coast first came into the competition, they went to Windy Hill and they had a great match with Essendon?
Just got pipped. I was there that day. It was a fantastic day. They had Darren Bennett up there with Laurie Keenan, that full forward line, and how things have changed. There's only a few of that original line up there for the West Coast, and I'm going to go and have a look at my roster to see if I've got that game next week. It'll be definitely match A, so I hope I'm out there.
It'll be a tremendous match, and with Sumich and Lewis and all the stars from the West Coast. If West Coast can beat Essendon at Windy Hill next week, they would have beaten Geelong, Collingwood, Hawthorn and Essendon all in Melbourne. They're going to be pretty hard to beat for the flag.
I watched them last week against Geelong, and I was very, very impressed. Okay, they've got Sumich up at full forward. He was outstanding, but everybody else, and Heady, but everyone else seems to do their bit when it's required, and they're very solid in their approach to the football. When it's required to be done, they go and do it. They're playing real Victorian football.
And AFL will announce that there will be a finals match in Perth probably in the next week or so, though Alan McAllister wants a finals match at Victoria Park. Did you read that this morning? The president of Collingwood? Yeah. Got a comment on that?
No, I'll just laugh.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen to you. Collingwood will be able to
No, but I think it's a good idea we start and take the game interstate and play a final. It'd be fantastic. Although they haven't got a decent stadium over there in Perth, if it was in South Australia at Football Park, it'd be fantastic.
Okay, so that's the situation. West Coast and St Kilda, two of the big winners today, along with Essendon winning and Melbourne. And don't forget in Adelaide, you've got a replay of the Hawthorn West Coast match coming up in just a moment. On behalf of Peter and Don, hope you've enjoyed it from Moorabbin today, the day that Lockett kicked 12.
In the middle of a large field, an umpire stands. He's got a ball raised up in the air. He's waiting for a siren to ring. Siren to ring. In the streets of any suburb, in any country town in Australia, little children are dreaming the very same thing. It's a national obsession. This is the greatest game in the world. Let's play football. It's a national obsession. Football. Let's play football. At the end of a season, a captain stands with a cup raised in the air. The winner of the greatest game in the world. Put your feet up. Let's play football. Try and relax. It's football time. Let's play football.
This has been a 7 Sport production.